So, in honor of O.J. Simpson dying, we're gonna watch Racism starring Sarah Bullock.
Oh my god.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Well, not welcome back, sorry. Welcome to, technically welcome back to Blindside. Yes, we're doing this movie again because, well, this time we have Jova and Deji here. So,
Also me.
I was here the first time.
I wasn't, meaning that
Yeah.
it's my
So,
experiencing this shit.
so
But
basically,
yes, we do have Deji here this time.
yeah, so Deji can also contribute. So here's the basic gist of it, everybody. The Blind Side is a 2009 Oscar Beatty movie. And yes, I'm aware that Oscar Beatty is not a movie genre, but to me it is. I'm just gonna declare it. I'm just gonna declare it one because
It's
there's
not a genre, but it is a trope.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Nowadays, it's widely recognized Oscar bait in this regard.
Yeah.
And quite a telling sign of what we're to be in for.
So basically, everybody, this movie is actually based on a book called The Blind Side: Evolution of a Game by Michael Lewis. For the most part, that book is just a book about football strategy, and by that I mean American football, for those who don't know. And there's actually a smaller portion that talks about Michael Orr, which is the real life person that this movie is portraying. And it's basically a basic story about, you know, like how he's impoverished upbringing through his years and blah blah blah, and then eventually becomes a famous footballer and, you know, manages to succeed and all that shit, blah 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 blah. So somebody read this part of the book and thought, you know what we can do? We can make a super Oscar Beatty, really cliche movie that emotionally manipulates the audiences and the Academy into giving us props. And that's how we came into this movie that is starring Sandra Bullock. This movie, of course, ever since then has been severely criticized by people for perpetrating the white savior trope. And Michael Orr himself, the real Michael Orr, in his 2012 book, I Beat the Odds, criticized that this movie is a complete Lord of Horse hockey and not at all related to his real life story. So
we're having a situation like Patch Adams.
Yeah. Great, isn't it? All right. That's basically it, everybody. Start before the Warner Brothers logo that has As Time Goes By playing. 3, 2, 1, click.
It'll be
Okay, guys, are you ready for some white savior Hollywood bullshit?
I wish I was watching Casablanca right now. That one has a better story about technically white savioring.
I, for one, am certainly
Also,
looking
everyone in the cast
forward
is white.
to Sandra Bullock's white savior BS vanity project. I am not sorry for calling it that because, well, to what Pedro has informed me and to what I've looked back, yes, the woman really wanted an Oscar. Boy, she must feel silly now given how little people take the Oscars seriously.
I think the Distressed Watcher review of the trailer from back in 2009 said it best. Would someone please give Sandra Bullock her Oscar so she can stop making this shit?
You know, given not just the controversies that arose after she got the Oscar, but the controversies that are as recent as 2023, do you think she looks back at that Oscar and puts her head down in her hands going, my God, the things I did to get that damned Oscar.
I mean, she also was the protagonist of Bird Box, so I'm pretty sure she doesn't care.
Wow, the movie decided to do me a solid and rewind the movie for me because I missed something.
It's a thing we do sometimes while watching football games because over here in America, we thought from the get-go, let's actually use proper camera technology that can, you know, look at plays.
Yes, Pedro.
Eat shit, Kevin Dunn.
Look. There's nothing inherently wrong with an actor having a goal of trying to, you know, be recognized by the awards necessarily. But here's the thing, Sandra. When DiCaprio did it, he made a great movie after great movie after great movie because he actually made good career choices. You, on the other hand, decided to go the Oscar Beatty route.
And you know what?
It's kind of like what Bradley Cooper did recently with Maestro.
And again, the thing is, I'm not even kidding that people don't take the Oscars this seriously. Like, it's not even just a personal opinion thing. Like, the Oscars have gotten so little coverage these days. Like, I kid you not, the Game Awards, the things that aspire to be the Oscars, get more attention than the Oscars.
So in the end, Joseph Ferris got the last laugh for now.
Yeah, basically.
I guess he did.
Yeah, in this part where they're describing American football strategy stuff, this is of course based on the other part of the book that the movie doesn't really focus on.
Okay, but yeah, Michael Orr, again, phenomenal football player, and as a story, though, I find it exceptionally weird that, of course, what they went for were the namesake of a book that isn't centered around him. Granted.
No, apparently.
Granted, maybe they needed the rights from that to tell a story in film because of how copyright works. I don't know. Although, granted, there's a lot of stuff with this movie that doesn't make sense in story and out of story.
Yeah, let me check this quickly, some data here. Directed
yes.
by... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, basically, here's the pictures of Quentin Aaron's performance, making very sad puppy dog eyes at the camera. That's basically his performance.
Pedro, if we go to the handbook on making Oscar bait films, one of the key trademark ways is, of course, to have a protagonist who is constantly in sad times. Dej, question. Dej?
Well, I guess he's...
Oh,
he's
right.
easy.
Okay, well, let me ask you guys a question. Have you seen the movie Radio? Another
I might have heard about it, just not seen it.
The Cuba Gooding Jr. movie, essentially. It was about a football player, a football coach, essentially. That movie also got into a bit of trouble with not so much the white savior stuff, but, you know, how it portrayed the person in question being a sort of biographical drama here and there. That also involved a lot of the sad moments that do feel uber melodramatic. Now, mind you, I am not saying that melodrama is, you know, automatically a bad thing to have in films. But by God, I can tell when it is being used as such a tool of
manipulative.
Emotional manipulation.
Also, Quentin Aaron's character in this movie is meant to be in high school. He was 25 when the movie came out.
Okay.
Now, the real question is, guys, which was the worst movie for her to be in? This one or North?
Oh God, both involving racial controversies.
Alright.
I suppose you could say that North was practically offensive to every culture, whereas not that you should be offensive to any culture at all.
Okay.
But this is technically aiming more to on a real life person like Patch Adams, like we mentioned. So
like on a personal level, yes, Radio is probably the worst one because that movie has a responsibility actually telling a real life story. North was based off of a book essentially, and it had a ton of problems, and probably is recognized as the worst movie of the two, if only because that movie is probably remembered more, the power of Rob Reiner and all that. So, it's an interesting case. Overall, okay, I'd say this. Going strictly off of morals, easily The Blind Side. In terms of being outright infamous, well, okay, pre-2023, I might have said North, but now post-2023, dear God, The Blind Side might be worse than North on all angles. This is also getting into the very, very heavy subject matter of the white savior complex, or white guilt in some places, where, again, not to say every Caucasian is like this, but a lot of cases where, oh, they feel so sorry for us black folk. They want to cuddle and cradle us and help us do so much better.
I can hear Deji seething already.
Dej, have you ever been on the recipient of the white guilt complex in real life as well? Yeah, don't worry, I have to, bud. I have to.
There are some
people that say I'm the whitest black person they've ever met.
What does that even fucking
does that
mean?
mean?
What does that even
Oh, it's just some.
It means like, oh, you act like a well-mannered person. That's not. Yeah, I don't.
Yes, because there can't possibly be any well-mannered black people in the world, eh?
Anyway,
God.
Dej. Anyway, Dej.
Yeah,
when-
let's.
Anyway,
Oh.
Dej, when you were burbed, I actually asked, have you seen the movie Radio, another semi-biographical sports drama film about a black man?
What
No.
the fuck is this score?
Yeah, the score is done by Carter Burwell. And if you're not familiar with Oscar Beatty's scores, this is basically it. The whimsical score about how inspiring this person is.
Dweb, since you're the music expert, what has this composer done before?
He's done a lot of the Coen Brothers movies. He co-composed the score for a Goofy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
What?
That was a great score, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Together with Don Davis, the Matrix
with
composer.
Don Davis, yeah.
Anyway, just to check the rest of the development, directed by John Lee Hancock, which apparently did a lot of stuff before and after, but the only movie I recognize. Oh no, actually, he was the director of say Mr. Banks, and at least one of the writers, for Snow White and the Huntsman.
By the way, in case you're wondering how
Great.
much of a
Great.
vantage...
He also did that McDonald's movie with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, the...
Oh,
So,
the founder?
Yeah.
Yes, Jova.
for those wondering how much of a vanity project this was, Sandra Bullock's role was originally offered to somebody else, who humbly turned it down. That ever-humble actress was Julia Roberts, of all people.
Oh,
That I'm not even gonna bother looking that up because it makes perfect sense.
Like, Julia...
Wait. They were going to get Julia Roberts for this.
Yep, but she turned it
trust me,
down.
This is exactly the kind of thing she would be into. The fact that she turned when Julia fucking Roberts turns down this role because it's apparently
Oscar Beatty.
too Oscar Beatty for her, you have a problem.
Now, maybe she was actually busy contractual things at the time, I don't know. But still, it's a bad sign nonetheless.
You know,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, that'd be like if Ernie Hudson turned down, a role in, practically any movie these days, to be honest.
Anyway,
I mean-
budget 29 million, recouping 309.2 million. That was for a November 20, 2009 release. So not taking a Christmas movie, but close to the season, I guess.
Maybe you
now,
should have saved this for a Christmas pick.
Ugh.
I think the thing that really speaks to me about Julia Roberts is that this feels like a role Julia Roberts would normally take up just to feel good about herself. Like, it ain't even a meme. Julia Roberts is, one of those, shall we say, self-interested folk.
All right.
You can say prima donna, egotist,
Go on,
narcissist.
Pedro. I'll mention later myself.
So I don't really know anything about how Michael Orr's personality is, like the real life Michael Orr. I mean, in here, in High School, they portray him as being very shy, doesn't really talk to anybody. It seems, and there's also something here that I'm going to question a bit.
That said, if you're wondering about, how Mike Orr might feel about this movie,
Oh, don't worry. That I'm going to bring up later. We'll see.
goody. Oh,
Forgot to mention, audience, I have alcohol because I
Yes.
get the idea I'm not gonna survive this shit, so why not?
also,
Yes, you are.
Okay, can I ask a question?
You
Yeah, about
survived
this,
the
by the way?
Snyder Cut. You can do anything.
Oh, sure.
I
But,
mean,
here's
with all the problems of the Snyder Cut, I
Yeah,
don't
I'd
find
rather
the Snyder...
watch the Snyder Cut over this.
Yeah, like,
sure,
the Snyder Cut is not
Hold on.
morally
He
despicable.
left everything blank.
I want to point two things about this scene. One, I didn't do anything on the biology test, but he drew the cute little boaty. Okay. He's at least 16 at this point in the story, Like,
And as far as
he's not a little child like that.
And before the suggestion is raised, as far as I know, at the very least, the movie doesn't tell me that he's supposed to be neurodivergent or in any kind of part of the spectrum.
From
Yeah,
what
like,
I...
go on.
from what I can recall about what Michael Orr had to say, just to give a little sneak peek, based off of his own suggestions, I mean, it's only his life story, he was not this dumb in real life.
Yeah, another thing that I'd like to mention about that scene, but Jova, Deji, how's Sandra Bullock's Southern accent?
Oh!
Also, that haircut.
It's better than Daniel Craig's.
Like, that's a high bar.
Well, that's something, I
Like,
guess.
To be fair, Benoit Blanc is meant to. The accent is meant to be fake as shit.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say, I haven't seen yet the Knives Out movies, but he's supposed to be like an actor.
Yeah, it's intentionally meant to be weird and off-putting and stuff like that. Whereas
Because
in here, I'm pretty sure that's not the idea.
Yeah.
That's why I
Also,
say it's not really a high bar to clean, because the idea is that that accent is supposed to be bad, but
Also, I would like to mention something briefly, but aside from the stock footage at the beginning, so far, almost 15 minutes in, and the only sports that we have seen in the movie
Hold
has
on,
been
Tim. I had to
everything
put
but
this out.
football.
Oh my god! Oh, look how nice and absolutely,
Also me.
selfless Michael Orr is, because he even picks up all the trash from everybody. You
oh
know?
god, it really is a lot like radio. But okay. That being said, yeah, that was one thing I wanted to point out. For a movie about an NFL player, we start with a bit of a focus on basketball. That's like having
And
a
then volleyball.
That's
Yeah.
like that's
If I
like
ever
having a
met-
Michael Jordan movie that focuses on baseball.
If I ever met the-
Jova, that's. Oh, okay.
If I ever met the real Michael Orr, the first question I would ask him is, look, I know it's most likely bullshit, but I have to know, I have to hear it from you. Did you ever pick up everybody else's trash at school? Because I'm just that curious. I just need to know for sure. I'm pretty sure it's bullshit. Still,
My real question is, did they at least paid him well for the because real person's rights and everything.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Okay,
Oh.
from what I understand, a lot of the rights for this got signed off by the Toei family themselves. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh, great.
We'll expand later on how he feels about this movie when Pedro feels it's a good time, but in 2023, Michael Orr filed a lawsuit against the Toei family for deceiving him into signing a conservatorship under the guise of adoption papers, which effectively allowed them to make millions off of him via merchandising and movie deals while he received nothing.
Yeah, smile at them, Mike, to make them your friend.
Just
Come on.
smile.
But
Just
yeah,
smile, Mike.
just to recap what I just said, he was tricked, and yeah, as far as we know, he did not receive anything off the merchandising and movie deals that the Toeies were making millions off of, because they tricked him into signing a conservatorship under the guise of adoption papers.
Hold on, Jova.
Jesus.
Looks like Sandra's white savior radar just picked up something.
You know, I just want to point out that the person we're supposed to be rooting for in real life tricked a man into signing away the money that he was owed with adoption papers. That is amazingly despicable, and this movie is making them look heroic, which... Okay.
That's just...
Yeah, to say this movie hasn't aged well would be a massive
I'm
understatement.
gonna say that it was dead upon arrival.
It was terrible from the get-go.
Now,
Yeah, and
granted,
it's only gotten worse since then.
Now, granted, if Michael Orr was aware of all this at the time, I'm not sure, because from what I can recall at the time, his main issue was just that he did not like the movie. Pedro, you have the excerpt for that, right?
Gee, I wonder why. But no, yes, later when it becomes more relevant, I will talk about it.
So, how much
It's
he
still,
knew
it's,
of...
it's still relatively early in the story, so let's wait a bit.
Now, how much he knew about the truth behind those adoption paper shenanigans at the time, I will not know. That said, the fact that we now know the full truth, and that this movie is recent enough to be dissected, oh boy. And you know, the funny thing is, I would argue this movie getting an Oscar was one of the first signs people were picking up that, hey, maybe we shouldn't take the Oscars as gospel. I'm sure that there were other signs, but this is like one of the
Avatar won an
early...
Oscar.
Sandra.
I said Avatar. James Cameron's Avatar.
I mean, if I got it for effects, I can get it. Like, look, we meme on Avatar, but I can at least buy Avatar as a legit passion project with work and love put into it. This is a vanity project that tries to make heroes out of literal monsters. Now, granted, maybe they didn't know, but why do I get the feeling they didn't do their research as much as they could have?
My problem in general is just that, Pixar's Up came out in 2009, so just give it to that. But that's just me.
But,
anyway, I wanted to bring up something from that early scene with the biology test that I didn't bring up earlier. Okay, is that okay? Why did he wait until the end, until the end of class? Just if you're not going to do the test, period, just hand out the test and just leave immediately. Isn't that
sometimes you can? I don't know what kind of school actually, if it's regulated school by school, but in all of them you can't. You have to wait until it's over for everyone.
I can tell you that in here, if you don't want to do the test, you can just turn it in and just go immediately.
I think I guess it really is a thing of school by school policy, but it's
very
still
much
stupid.
so.
I guess
I will say I don't remember much from when we commentated on this movie, except that I really didn't like it. Okay, we know about all the IRL controversies surrounding a movie, but hey, maybe in spite of historical inaccuracies or what we learn later, maybe the movie itself can actually be good. Nope. I just recall being bored out of my mind at best or horrified at the movie itself content-wise. You see, there is a genius mind inside that boy, and I may be the only one that can see it, but it is my God-given obligation to reveal it to the world.
Joe, but you basically just summed up Sandra Bullock's entire character.
Yeah, in fact, about Sandra Bullock accepting this role, she had actually turned down the role 3 times due to discomfort with portraying a devout Christian. By her own account, Bullock felt she could not objectively represent such a person's beliefs on screen. But after a visit with the real Leigh-Ann Tilly, reminder, one of the Tullys that tricked Michael Orr out of millions of dollars, Bullock not only won the role, but also took a pay cut and agreed to receive a percentage of the profits instead.
Wow.
But Jova, look how selfless and happy and nice the Tully family is. Look, see?
This is again why I ask if Sandra Bullock looks at that Oscar with regret, because apparently...
Yes. This is actually the first scene in the trailer where they see him cold, walking around in the middle of the road. Uh-oh, Sandra's white savior radar is going off again.
To answer you, Deji, Avatar won Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, and Best Visual Effects. And to answer Pedro, Amp won Best Animated Vended Feature and Best Score.
And Best Score, obviously. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Michael. It's rare Michael Giacchino's score is a letdown.
Oh, here we go. This is one of my favorite bits.
Because he has no one to go home to.
Are you interrogating him?
Yeah, the patronizing tone is just the cherry on top.
I know, right? Oh.
Let me just
Okay, I don't know if Sandra just got the tone of the scene wrong or if the director did, but
I'm gonna say both.
I mean, I'd place most of the blame on Mr. Hancock because he is the director and he wrote this screenplay too.
I don't know if it's his entire passion project, but he's very involved with it.
It's okay. You see, this is totally how things went down, guys. Sandra's real life character was just that awesome and nice that she decided to just bring into to their house because he didn't have anywhere to stay.
I'm curious. Did South Park parody this movie or took a jab at it? I'm curious.
Not this one in particular, but they've taken jabs at plenty of Oscar-baiting movies over the years.
I could have sworn there was some reference to this movie, but to be fair, I could be misremembering. I'm pretty sure I recall something taking a pot shot at this movie, and God, given the recent is that Miley Cyrus?
No.
I don't really think so.
I know Lily Collins is in the movie.
Let me check who the daughter is played by.
You're gonna have to go by me one more time. Who's that? Who's that again? Dubs?
Lily Collins?
Yes. Like you said, Joe said
that's the girl with the beauty mask right now.
Oh, okay. Like because in reaction to Jova's Miley Cyrus comment, there's mentioned Lily Collins. So I was wondering if there was
great! She was in the Mortal Instrument City of Bones.
Oh, that movie. I hear that's the movie
This was literally the second movie role in her career.
Okay, and the husband is played by, of all people, Tim McGraw.
Okay, so there's one thing that I can bring up already, actually, at this point. Okay, so Jova and Deji. There was a critic, well, not a critic, like a journalist, more like Melissa Henderson of the Dallas Observer, who argued that the mute, docile portrayal of Orr in this movie effectively endorses the Uncle Tom stereotype. What do you guys think about that?
Which aspect of it? There are quite a few, but I'm just wondering which one specifically.
The Uncle Tom stereotype of African American submission to white authority.
Yep. From what I can recall of this movie, Orr really does not get much say in his own story. Like, this feels more like a story starring the mother than Orr.
Yeah, I mean, we saw earlier with the interrogation scene.
Yeah. He's literally more of a tool for a purpose.
I even know if it's meant to be that.
Oh my god, are you serious, movie? Basically, the husband was going, he's going to stay one night, and Sandra Bullock's like, you're not afraid that he'll steal anything, are you? And it's just like, what the fuck?
Not just that, talking as an animal. What a piece of. Let me just drink more.
This movie was clearly written by an animal. Are you just like?
Yeah. Okay. I should stress, to be absolutely clear. I don't think John Lee Hancock is a bad person because he made this movie. That would be completely ridiculous.
I guess he literally just wanted to potentially capitalize on enthusiasm.
But so far, his decision making in making this script, like the screenplay and the directing so far, is like, you can call it at best severely misguided.
Yeah, not just that.
Where could Big Mike be?
I don't know much about perspective when it comes to this particular film in Hollywood and everything, but wouldn't be this type of story something that was done more in the 90s or in the end of the 2000s? This seems very late to do this kind of type of, pretentious argument.
Yeah, and have you noticed something? Quentin Aaron has yet to have a single fucking line in this fucking movie.
No, he did mention, he had a few words, but not that much.
Okay, fine. Let me rephrase that. He has barely spoken in this fucking thing. For someone who's supposed to be the real-life figure that this movie's story is inspired by, he sure doesn't have much of a screen presence, does he?
But Pedro, he's devastated. His father's dead. Yeah, if I recall correctly, we talked over the scene where school staff tell Michael that his father has died, apparently in an accident.
Apparently, yeah.
His father died of screenplayitis.
Okay. Now, let's see. Now, looking up his Wikipedia article, he was one of 12 children of Denise Orr. His mother suffered from alcoholism and crack cocaine addiction, and his father, Michael Jerome Williams, was frequently in prison. And yes, his father was murdered in prison when he was a senior in high school.
I'm sorry, I had to bring that up. I love it. See, they're so rich they can afford to have 2 TVs, one next to the other, so that the son can play video games while the parents watch TV.
Ah, the days before consoles like the Nintendo Switch.
The days back before the economy went completely to shit.
Wait, what year is this set in?
Well,
let
the
me
year
check.
that this story took place in.
Ain't no way in hell she made all this. They got servants. Come on, don't fool us.
I mean,
Y'all
you
rich.
You can't tell me that she. Oh, they even say grace because, of course, they do.
I mean, you know, nothing wrong with saying grace. We say grace as well, but, like, yeah, I mean, the fact that Sandra Bullock turned on this role because she thought she couldn't portray a devout Christian, but then apparently, I guess some words of the real life
I'm guessing-
Lei Toei convinced her that no, she could do this. Like, is that translation
I'm guessing
for?
Sandra. I'm guessing Sandra's an atheist. Maybe is that why?
I don't know if she's an atheist or agnostic or celebrates a different religion. Like, whatever reason, or heck, maybe she's like in a complete different sect of the religion. All the article mentions is that she felt that she could not portray the role. Let me see.
Sure. I guess so. That means she's either an atheist or she has a religion that's very different from Christianity.
Huh? Okay, weird. Celebrity Faith Database says that her faith is that of Christian.
Oh,
Let me see.
okay. In that case, I'm not entirely seeing your point there, Sandra.
Granted, they do say that Lei Toei was a devout Christian, which
I guess, sure.
that might have some differences down the line. Let me see.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, Sandra, you're an actress. The whole point of your job is to portray characters that are different than you.
Admittedly, I get some people feeling uncomfortable with some forms of religion and portraying that or whatnot. Like, let's see.
Well,
Oh my
again,
God.
you're not.
What
Who do you think you are, Jack Bauer?
Mind your own fucking business, bitch.
Like, I get it. Story-wise, I get it, because, you know, in real life, holy cow, this woman is actually terrible. But yes, for the sake of this fictional... Yes?
Jabba, even in the context of the movie, she comes across as terrible, if you ask me.
Well, by the context of the narrative, we're supposed to root for her because she helped set this boy's life straight, and... oh god, it feels forced. So,
You know,
very forced.
Okay,
Oh, wait, is this the scene? Hold on.
all right. With the caveat that I'm not white, that I'm not black. In terms of movies centered around black people, one of the best. Have you guys seen Coach Carter?
Coach Carter off.
Was that the Samuel L. Jackson movie?
Yeah,
I have not seen that movie.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
I've seen it a few times. I think that one's pretty solid.
Don't get out of the car. So let's see.
Okay, so from what I can garner, the difference between a regular Christian and a devout Christian is like, devout Christians are like super steeped into the whole thing. Like, they go to every church service they do, regularly read the Bible and all that. Basically, they essentially live for Christ as healthily as possible. Ideally, anyway.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's just meant to be a satire on these kinds of movies.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. That
If
you
only
just
this was a
noticed.
satire.
This quote-unquote biographical drama is a movie where that doesn't have characters. It has cartoon caricatures parroting as characters.
Huh.
I'm
Oh,
sad.
there's the
and
sad,
that's-
melodramatic piano, of course.
I am sad, guys. I'm so sad. Oh, I'm done.
So yeah, he's been evicted.
You've taken quite the time, young man.
Oh boy, I found an excerpt on Sandra Bullock.
It? Oh, I'm sorry, Jova. Like the movie hammered that point onto me so hard that my head feels like it's about to split in two. Jesus.
Okay, while the database says that she's a Christian, I wonder if maybe Bullock wasn't a Christian, at least at the time of this movie. I have
Maybe.
found an excerpt from her meeting with Lei Toei, from a blog, essentially, which does mention it, TaylorMarshall.com. From an article, it states, Sandra Bullock says, thanks to the Toeys who attend Grace Evangelical Church in Memphis, she now has an quote-unquote faith in those who say they represent a faith. Getting to know Leigh Ann Toei, says the actress, showed her that religious faith can be authentic. Huh.
Apparently, this store still lives in the 1970s. Seriously, those jackets from earlier, like, they look so garish.
Okay, well, we know this can't be the 70s because Orr was born in 1986, so... And, okay, if he was born in 86...
So this takes place in the early 2000s, then.
Either
I
the
guess
early
Hancock-
2000s or the late 90s, I
The-
presume.
The director really misses the 70s, I guess.
When was John Lee Hancock? Let me check. John Lee Hancock, born in 1956.
So he was 20 by the time the 70s came about.
How nice to know.
Well, 14, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure, 14, sorry. Well, yeah, it's still young enough to have nostalgia for that time period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's sad
I
that-
know. I know this will probably only appeal to people like me who are really into the history of television. But I was questioning what year this came out earlier because I was like, wait, analog TV was still going in the US in this time period, but no, this is 2009 when it only just got switched off over there. So yeah.
Okay, usually the
Don't get your
expression that I
pants in
hear
knots.
Americans use is "don't get your panties in a twist" or something like that. No, don't get your panties in a wad.
Is that a Tennessee specific? Because you said
Maybe.
Memphis.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, time for some more old Rosie.
Oh, here's the controversial part. Here we go.
Oh, just This is-
Which one?
This scene.
Oh.
This scene.
A lot of white pompous people eating.
But no, it's gonna go insane.
Oh, oh, God. The bullshit is.
Are you
making
sure
me
this wasn't?
choke.
Are you sure this wasn't the meeting for how this movie came about? Playbox.
Like, it's like a games cast.
did you...
Oh, hold on. Oh, we're actually about to get one of my favorite lines that also was used in the trailer. Oh wait, no, never mind. It's not there. It's not. It's later when he gets a proper bed. Never mind.
Oh no, I just realized something.
I have to say, Dwebs, yeah, like you mentioned, they mentioned Playbox because they don't want to mention actual real life console because copyrights.
Boy,
The fun thing, Dwebs, is that the fictional console in the Life is Strange universe is also called Playbox. So
even though the game was made by Sony.
So I guess
Anyway, Final
technically
Fantasy VII
Warner
Spirits
Brothers
Within.
can sue Dontnod, maybe.
Anyway, Final Fantasy Spirits Within is like the best sci-fi movie ever.
Right.
So yeah, they're gonna adopt the boy again. This is amazing regarding the controversy that again they tricked the rights out of him for receiving royalties with adoption papers.
98th percentile. What does that even mean?
It's here, guys. It's in this scene. So this is the scene where he actually gets a bed. And we're gonna get one of my favorite scenes from the trailer. My favorite quotes from the trailer. Sorry.
Okay, I'm not sure if they're adopting him.
Here.
What?
He's never had a bed to himself.
Okay, I'm not sure how true. Was this actually true? Like, he never had a bed before up to this point in his
I haven't
life?
actually read Michael Orr's book, so.
Oh, Michael Orr himself published a book too.
Yes, in 2012, basically explaining how this book is bullshit.
Oh.
I
So
wonder if Michael Orr.
Sorry. This movie is bullshit, not the book.
I wonder
not the original book.
Has Michael Orr ever met anyone who was involved in the making of this movie?
I'm guessing no.
Okay. One thing that Wikipedia does state, he was placed in foster care at age 7 and alternated between living in various foster homes in periods of homelessness. So that would mean none of those foster homes, I guess the orphanages never gave him a bed, if that line is to be believed. Assume that we're going off of his real life history, or what they deem to be his
I'll make this sound horrific.
And look at that, guys. Now his grades are raising because I guess, having a bedroom now makes it easier to. Now, granted, to be fair, he was actually studying biology earlier while doing the laundry earlier.
Oh, Kathy, why? Just why?
Why, Kathy?
You're better than this, cat. Well, okay, you were a North and you dressed up as an Eskimo in the worst way possible, but at least North was supposed to be a comedy. Like, there's a sense of irony there. This movie takes itself so
Terrible
seriously.
comedy, but yeah.
Like, okay, maybe she really needed the money, and if I am to give the benefit of a doubt, maybe everyone involved in this movie truly did believe that it was doing good. I still question the intelligence in that, but okay, maybe on paper it seemed like this was gonna be for a good cause, tell the life story of the guy. That being said, this movie is a giant pile of yikes that I get the feeling even the kid actors in this movie would probably have it in their best interest to sidestep this as far away. And I have to ask again, why is Tim McGraw in this movie? I mean, I get he was kind of an actor, but seriously, what is one of the world's biggest American country singer and songwriters doing here?
Because, Jova. Because.
Okay, is it just me? Maybe it's just a me thing, but personally, I wouldn't really trust a valet to drive my car.
I mean, typically the idea is to trust them because that's their job, and dear lord, they can get hunted down if they try and steal a car.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but whoever the institution that the valet works for will take responsibility if the valet does anything, right?
That's usually the case, to my knowledge.
That's usually.
And also, as far as I know, valet parking isn't that much of a thing around here in the UK.
You know,
look at that. I have to mention this, Jova. It's not just Sandra and her husband who are super awesome and nice. The kids are also perfect angels who help Michael with everything.
You know,
Aren't they so wonderful?
Okay,
I have to say,
I'll cut their kids some slack in terms of the real life stuff because I'm not sure how much of a say they would have had in it, if any.
Oh, sure, obviously. But I'm talking about the movie itself.
That
The way the movie's portraying them.
that being said, is anyone else getting Simple Jack vibes from this? With how, oh, well, okay, granted, I guess unlike Simple Jack, he is allowed to get smarter. What's going on here? I guess that's a friend of his.
I guess so. Like, what's wrong, Sandra? Can handle Michael hanging around with someone that's not you or your family? Is that it?
I don't want those other unruly black folk to send him on the wrong path now.
Well, that's my job.
Yeah, how do you know?
Jesus. Oops. Well, don't you feel like a heel now?
You know, Dwebs, this is the part where Michael should go full Danny and go, "You're not my fucking mother!"
Oh, I will be.
Oh, God.
Also, how do you know that man? He's my brother.
Oh,
Well-
flashback to Mike's childhood. Just earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, I'll admit, we're already past that point, but Jesus, am I feeling uncomfortable.
Can we watch Ferdinand instead?
Or at the very least the Disney short. The Disney short is basically just the book put on screen, but the expanded version by Blue Sky is also good.
Oh, Disney made
Well,
a short.
Ferdinand the movie's now a Disney movie.
Back in the 1940s, Disney made a theatrical. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'll look. So oh, isn't it sweet? Isn't it sweet, guys? How she was reading she was reading Ferdinand, who's again a gentle giant.
Okay. Let me say it again. Getting Simple Jack vibes. Look, he made it to high school. Like, I'd like to believe he has, at the very least, standard intelligence. Mind you, maybe he's just listening. Maybe he's just listening in, but the way the movie treats him, it seems like he is a special needs. What?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to comment on that. The husband just asked, "Is your happiness related to Michael in some way?" No, it has everything to do with Michael. So Michael is the only thing in your life that makes you happy?
She says as she's having sex with her husband.
Wait. Lord knows our school could use a little color.
Oh my God, this movie.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
I don't know about that line.
I think this movie as a
Guys.
whole might just be the poster child for a movie that has aged badly. In recent times, mind you. In recent times.
All right, I might as well bring up something else to ask to both Jova and Deji. Okay, so in her book, White Fragility, Robin DiAngelo criticized this movie for its negative racial stereotypes, calling it fundamentally and insidiously anti-black. She refers to a scene in which Orr returns to a stereotypically violent former neighborhood, which we saw earlier, only leaving when Toei rescues him from it.
Yep.
She also argues that the film portrays Orr as a simpleton who uses instinct over intellect. As a psychological test concludes that Orr has the quote-unquote ability to learn, but much quote-unquote protective instinct, which is a scientifically nonsensical statement according to DiAngelo.
I will say I'm getting those vibes because pretty much almost every other main black character, black character with a speaking role, has been portrayed as a negative influence on Orr in this movie. Like, sure, there's been others, but again, we haven't really gotten to hear any of the good ones speak, and good lord, like, I think this movie is a sign that racism can come from people with both good and bad intentions. Like, even if we are giving this movie the benefit of the doubt, ignoring, again, the heinous stuff that the real-life people who signed off for this movie were behind, again, assuming that this was good intentions, my God, is it reinforcing some negative black stereotypes?
Yeah, here we go. It's the Karen Club.
Yeah, I was about to say, every single white woman in this movie looks like a Karen.
I know, right? But I want to mention something about what she's going to say in a moment.
Yeah, see, why don't you just adopt them?
Yeah. No, if I'm correct, this is where she says another one of the scenes of the lines from the trailer.
All right.
Oh.
Which is funny. It's funny because it actually is, but the movie is going to say that it's more than that.
Do you have any idea what the boy's been through?
Of course
She's
she
soured.
has.
Of course she knows.
Pedro. She's been interrogating him 24/7. She probably knows his life story at this point.
What was that line from Get Out? If it was possible, we'll be voting for Obama for a time.
What?
Oh, Lord God Almighty.
Oh my God, we're not even halfway through.
I love that. I just love it. And they use that scene in the trailers. And
You know, I'm not going to act like sappy movies like these aren't still around, but my God, I don't think I've seen a movie this outwardly sappy since this movie, at the very least to my knowledge.
I love it. Like, I just can't. To this day, I still love quoting that bit. Like, you're changing that boy's life. No. He's changing
Like you can practically feel the director/writer orgasm as he fillets himself.
Again, like, this feels like this could legit be a pastiche, a spoof on this sort of stuff with how this dialogue is. Like, it would not feel out of place in a Mel Brooks movie. And mind you, Mel Brooks is a guy who actually knows how to do political or, political satire.
For the most part, from what I heard, his portrayal of gay people has been the most questionable part of his movies.
That was awkward, but to give him credit in how he did, like, race relations...
Yeah, like, what's the name?
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles, yeah.
That was a fantastic movie on that.
Oh, and look at that, Jova. Now he's even smiling to the girls this time, and as a result, he's making friends. Look how much better his life is now that the white people took him in. See?
The idea of someone actually, reacquiring a dignity because, their life's getting better and because, our encounters change both parts, not just one another. That actually isn't too bad, of a concept. It's just that this is done in service of such themes where it really doesn't belong.
Look.
Now where can he sit? He's gonna have to sit on his own because he has no friends here.
I'm actually Pedro. Okay, no, Jova, Deji, and Pedro to an extent. I want to know this already in advance. I probably should wait until the movie, but we're in that answer. Would you take Detroit Become Human over this?
Oh, God!
I think Reeves' reaction was the better of the
I'll tell you this one too. At least
my nose.
I'll tell you this too. Blindside is over quicker.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, on the other hand, you end racism.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to
end racism in that movie. So
I'm gonna have to.
On the other hand, Hillary Clinton.
Is this movie? Is this?
Yeah,
the movie that ended racism. So basically, is this what Cody Rose would have written as a movie?
Yeah. I want to point out that from that previous scene. So, get this. Sandra Bullock's daughter, I know that the character has a name, but I don't give a shit. Sandra Bullock's daughter left her girlfriend so she could stay with Michael because she's just that wonderful. It's so wonderful. Deji, hold me. I'm so moved.
I wish she was here. I just want to hear her reaction to this movie.
She probably would have. Okay, allow me to.
Warren asked her about this, so she politely declined to be in this.
Allow me that. I'll try my best to simulate what probably would be stuff like that. Yikes! Lots of yikes. Gross. This movie is gross, and
I'm pretty
something
sure if
along
she was
those lines.
possible, she will drink too. For the record, it still hasn't kicked in, and I hate that.
Oh,
all right,
look
all
at that, guys. He'll be an all-star football player first, but at first he's...
Balloons? This really is up.
I fucking wish, but
Again, from what I've been able to garner, again, Michael Orr was not that dim back then. At least
the
again.
movie is...
Oh, it's interesting you say that, Joa, because Michael has something to say about that.
Oh, do you want to
The movie borderline wants to portray him as neurodivergent when it really doesn't feel to be the case.
No.
And from what I understand, the guy in real life wasn't. Pedro, why don't you show us that excerpt now?
I've got. Oh, great! That was offending. Because since I have Asperger's, this was trying to offend me.
Okay. To be fair, Dwibs, we're only speculating on them portraying him as that. Like, there is nothing in the movie that actually says he's like that. My take is more that they're just portraying him as dim, because I guess their idea, assuming they are doing this with the best of intentions, again, I'm really having to look at this with a glass half full mentality, but maybe their assertion is that, he didn't have the best education. And to be fair, going off of his article on Wikipedia, he did have to repeat the first and second grades and attended 11 schools during his first 9 years as a student. That being said...
your fucking white family is so super perfect, isn't it, kid?
Yeah, okay, yes, I get it. He maybe repeated the first and second grades a bit, but again, could have been for a number of reasons, and he did make it to high school still. I don't think the guy is dumb as rocks. And speaking of which, okay, Pedro, let's bring in that excerpt.
Sure, why not? Okay, so Michael Orr has voiced his displeasure with this movie and takes particular exception to the portrayal of his intelligence. In his 2012 book, I Beat the Odds, he says, I felt like the movie portrayed me as dumb instead of as a kid who had never had consistent academic instruction and ended up thriving once he got it. The film's claim that he didn't understand football was another point of irritation for Orr. When talking about watching his adoptive family teach him, he said, no, that's not me at all. I've been really studying the game since I was a kid. Despite his displeasure with his portrayal in the movie, Orr has stated that he likes the film's message of perseverance and the general treatment of the two of them has been quoted as saying, it's a great story. It seems like they helped me get to this point. They're my family, and without them, I wouldn't be here. And they taught me a lot of things, showed me a lot of different things. It shows that you have something. So he does actually say that, technically they did help me still, guys.
I guess it's a case where, the movie in a vacuum technically manages to say tries to say a positive message, as in help, others, be selfless in case. The problem is that the facets of the entire controversial thing make so that, it spoils it, it ruins it. It's like adding oil motor to your drinking water. It just doesn't work.
Keep in mind, that's how he felt at the time, but the lawsuit came, again, last year in 2023, which...
9 years after that book.
Okay, again, looking at this with a glass half full mentality, even if the Toys really did help him, as well as this movie suggests they did, and it sounds like even Orr did feel like he at least owed to them giving him a chance at better education. The fact that, again, as far as we know, at least the parents tricked him, with those adoption papers to earn all the rights off of him, is like, if you guys are legit helping him, now we have to wonder, was it their plan all along to make millions off of him by helping him. It just dirties the waters. And my God, it feels like an evil comic book plot, but my God, it might be an actual real-life evil comic book plot. Raising someone just to profit off of them. Which, to be fair, is a story we do hear in a lot of cases, but Jesus, especially with the racial stuff, this whole story is a bucket load of yikes. That being said, sorry.
Go on, John. Sorry, go on.
That said, I guess it could serve as a good modern lesson because, you see, unlike older movies, which, usually it's the much older movies that are picked apart for this kind of racial insensitivity, but now this is relatively one of the more modern ones because even though 2009 is now 13 years ago, good God, that is still relatively young in regards to quote-unquote old movies.
Yeah.
For the record, oh my God.
This is another scene from the trailer.
Oh my God. She really is a Karen.
Yeah.
A Karen who's supposed to be the hero.
Lady, this is a Wendy's.
Ever since...
Get it, Bush!
Ever since Karen became a term for really bitchy women, I've always felt really sorry for actually really good people that are called Karen.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's just a coincidence. Kind of like with Doug.
Even though this movie is 15 years old, it still is relatively new in terms of historically looking back at movies, so this can probably serve as a good example of why A, doing as much research as possible is essential, and B, just because you have good intentions does not mean you cannot end up with egg on your face. Okay, now...
For the record... Sorry, go on.
Now, to be fair about the research, for as much as we know, maybe, as far as even or know, this story was at least going for the accurate version, because, to its credit, from what Ora's told us, it does seem like they get the overall idea right about a family wanting to take this boy in.
Hold on, Jeff, I have to mention this. He's a quote-unquote ward of the state. She can just get him without even getting consent from parents and shit like that. Oh, I think this is also we're gonna get another one of my favorite lines.
Hi.
Now she's going to straight into his neighborhood and she meets those that gang that we saw earlier, right?
Oh yeah, his mother.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're gonna see the mom first. Yeah, I forgot about this, but okay.
For the record, for reception of this movie, 66% on Rotten Tomatoes for an official journalist and 85% audience score.
Again, I really get the feeling people were lapping it up at the time.
Judging from the minuscule percentage that is the few reviews that I can see from now, the thing that people are praising is the idea of, the strengthening of bond and the themes about family, which, like I said, in a vacuum, I guess they can work out, but the movie is about more than that.
I'm positive that there are many other movies that do that kind of thing better.
I also love what it says here in the critics' consensus. It benefits from strong source material. Okay, I guess I can grant that. And a strong performance from Sandra Bullock.
She was...
Okay. Sandra Bullock is not a bad actress or anything.
No, but I will say
I'm not saying she's a bad actor. I love Sandra Bullock. The problem is that her performance in this movie is laughable.
I would say that I prefer it much more in Bird Box.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What this movie may say about and Sandra Bullock as a person, we may never know. And I hope it's not hiding or revealing something terrible about her, but let's give her credit for this movie. I do feel like she's putting 100% into the role. The problem is that 100% can come off as kind of hokey. And the southern accent does not help. And to be fair, probably was part of it. It's just you can't shake the feeling that she is doing this mainly just for the Oscar. And the fact that she even took a pay cut for this movie, and again, granted, she wasn't comfortable portraying a devout Christian at first. Again, still not sure about what her religion is, or what it was back then, but still, it just feels a little sus that, oh, she turned down a role that even Julia Roberts thought, yeah, no thanks, but then eventually goes to it when she speaks to the mother in real life. And let's not forget how much on the hunt she was for an Oscar, since, if I recall correctly...
Yeah, it was a combination of a bigger paycheck and the Oscar, I guess.
Did she even talk to Michael about it?
Do not know about the movie, I presume.
About possibly taking on this role, because you're looking into it and everything.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Oh my god, even the piano, they're busting in. Just let me
be
get
sad,
this done.
Tail. Be sad.
I don't know, this alcohol is making
telling you to be sad.
This alcohol is making me very happy instead. Right now I'm finishing the Baileys.
I'm just finishing off my old Rosie. Right now I'm just a bit wobbly.
In a good movie, this sort of scene could have worked. But one, this is not a good movie, and two, the movie has been so over the top with its sappiness
that begs the... I actually have a question on the matter, both to Jova and Deji about it.
Yeah.
Ignoring strictly the most controversial bit at the end of what I'm about to say, just strictly for social commentaries about how people of color are being handled, in America in recent decades, after World War II and everything. Do you think Falcon and the Winter Soldier has a better social commentary than this?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, we can talk about that other stuff when we actually get to properly commentating on that show. Like, for now, though,
it'll be a while.
To answer your question, Tio, yes, I do believe that one handled it better. It may have had some issues, but the tackling of the racial subject was not one of them.
Okay, I don't want to be I don't want to be on the nose and provocative myself, but I really do wonder if they chose the color of the car intentionally.
Maybe black was his favorite color.
I'm just finishing the glasses right now.
But look how happy he is, guys.
Michael thinks he's all what?
Okay, so allow me. Okay, fine. Let's be more constructive. Allow me to be more constructive. Okay, let's just judge the movie purely on its own right now. The writing
feels like it could have been a TV movie.
Yeah, exactly. What the
a Hallmark special.
The writing is sappy as shit. The characters are not characters; they're caricatures, like I've said before. They're given at best one trait, and that trait becomes their entire identity. Every single one of the what's the name of the family again? Toy, right? Toy.
Toy.
Every one of the toys is like a perfect angel. That has never harmed anybody and is only concerned with doing good things. Even the brat here.
Yeah, which is such a special kid. Look at that, because he knows stuff. Such a
He's the kid from Hancock, in case you remember that movie.
It's really funny how nowadays people look back on this movie, and regardless of whether you're black or white or whatever, everyone feels really uncomfortable watching it nowadays.
It's because that, at the very least, the mom and pop toys, again, I don't know if the kids were in on it at the time. I hope they weren't, but Jesus, the fact that they screwed this boy out of his well-deserved rights is...
Yeah, I mean, it was his life story, and they profited off it.
Anyway,
yes, Pedro.
And the plot is just paper thin. Like, there's
Also, look where you're driving.
Yeah, he's on the road.
Did this scene need to be a thing? Okay, did this actually happen in real life?
Is she like buying a carpet?
because she's
wait,
super
wait.
duper rich too.
What is she like?
Oh, please don't tell me the child died.
Those are my kids. Oh, my babies.
I seriously hope that the accident actually happened in real life, because otherwise this is extra manipulating to the highest degrees.
I have a question. Why
How
are
have
we
we still got
allowed...
an hour left? This.
Why would we allow a minor, or still a minor by this point, to drive around?
That's a good question, Jova. Remind me again. For the driver's license, it's supposed to be 21, the age.
Okay,
In America?
at some point you needed to be 16 to get a driver's license, but
Oh, that is right. I keep forgetting, because one time we had an exchange student program here, and believe it or not, one of the daughters of the vice president of HP actually stayed at my house for 1 week,
I had to put this up.
and she told me she had a UV.
See, he's fine. He's even enjoying the attention he's getting. See?
well, look at that. She's not even mad at him, which, okay, I'm glad we didn't have to go through that awkward sequence where,
The second act breakup. Still, this movie can go fuck itself.
It's a bad news for you.
what was that, Dutch?
Start drinking the alcohol.
I'm already doing it, Dad.
The whole thing.
No, Dad. Let's pace ourselves.
No, because I can't drink, so he has to.
I'm
drink
doing
more
it so
for
you don't have to.
Okay, so the kid is
So-
already up and shooting, and he doesn't even look like he's been injured. Like it's like
Yeah,
that
okay,
stupid
so
accident
unless-
scene
unless
didn't
that
need
happened
to
to-
be here.
Okay, so unless that happened in real life, what was the point of that scene?
Seriously, you can literally cut the accent bit out of
No,
the
no,
movie.
it's.
Yes, Tej.
I actually tell you what that scene was supposed to represent. Seeing how Michael protected Ash, which they'll use to his advantage with one playing football.
Riveting. It's not like we could have
riveting.
had another scene that wasn't heavily
No,
dramatic.
that was the point.
Okay, but as we usually say, there were better ways of achieving that.
Oh
Like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what
I didn't
Also-
say it was good.
Mate, you're a high school gym teacher. Should you really be swearing like that?
yeah.
I just found the daughter in this movie. That's
no,
Phil
no,
Collins.
hold on.
Kid.
Hold on, Dwibs. Don't worry. Sandra Bullock is gonna put him in his place.
Oh my god, she really is a Karen.
Why did you slap his butt?
Because
show
women are
that-
allowed to do. Because she's a woman and therefore she's allowed to, I guess.
It's almost as
Anyway.
bad. It's almost as bad as that scene in Doctor Who where one of the old ladies
hold on.
tapped the
this
tenth
bit.
Doctor's ass.
You see, Jova. Apparently, we
Uh,
need to have
man,
this
what are you
woman be the coach of whatever American football you root for. There you go. This is true football
Okay.
coaching, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I can definitely see why Orr was annoyed that they suggested that the family had to even instruct him on moments of football, because, like he mentioned, he was studying football from the age of a kid. I'm not saying that automatically makes you a master, but come on! This is literally babying him.
I mean, it makes him more of. Okay, maybe not a master necessarily, but it would make him more knowledgeable of things than.
Are we looking at her ass?
See, right here. Yelling at him doesn't work, Bert. See, there you go. See, I told you, she put him in his place.
So
Okay, to answer what Peter was questioning before about the judging this movie on its own without the connotations about it, it's still a bore fest. We're barely halfway through basically, and again, it's basically a slice of life. In its most boring aspects. Like even the other year, we did United Passions again, and despite me not giving a shit about football, I mean, as in European football, I loved that movie for how stupid it was. It was fun, entertaining. This is just awful.
Although I will
honestly,
say,
even United Passions feels more like a movie that was actually meant for cinemas more than this movie. Even the music sounds like this was made for television.
Yeah, I don't know what Carter Burwell is doing with this.
And the only reason it wasn't made for television is because Sandra Bullock is in it.
You see.
That's what it feels like to me.
You see, Deji and Jova, Sandra Bullock is so awesome. She's a better football coach than the guy who actually took the course.
So Pedro, so Pedro.
Okay. To be, I will say one thing. Taking a course in something doesn't automatically mean that you're the best at it, because there are plenty of shitty coaches in all walks of sports that took their courses and got their badges and all that. Just because you got your badge doesn't mean you're a good coach.
Sure.
That being said, for a random person to just walk in I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yes, Jova.
So you followed Sandra Bullock's career better than I have. After she finally got her Oscar, she cut the stuff out, right?
Yes, she fortunately...
She was in Gravity, so...
Yeah, she was in Gravity, even. Yeah.
Also, remember, what is called Bird Box, we commented on that.
So, okay. I know that this was the culmination of her poise to get an Oscar, but what was, her previous track record in trying to win an Oscar blatantly?
Well, let me get the list.
For the record, I'm also checking this. Despite everything, this was not nominated for a single Razzie that year.
Oh, back in time.
Okay. All right, 2009. Maybe there were
the ones for
worst films.
I'm not gonna say worst pictures because the contender for that legitimately were bad, like G.I. Joe's Rise of the Cobra and Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Ooh. So no, I'm not gonna say that this movie is worse than them. No, don't worry.
As far as I know.
All right.
Okay, so basically, Jova, it started in the early 2000s. Bullock starred in the psychological thriller Murder My Numbers. So yeah, psychological thriller, which compared to her previous work, which has been mostly comedies and stuff that's more lighthearted, right? This was definitely a different term for her. Her first major thing after that was actually the movie Crash in 2004, for which she actually got nominated. She received the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance Cast in a Motion Picture. Not an Oscar, but yeah, another one, right? In fact, Roger Ebert. She was also in Miss Congeniality. She did go back to her roots for a bit by being in Miss Congeniality too.
Right? Miss Congeniality. I recall those movies at least were good.
I remember there's supposed to be comedy spy movies.
After that, in 2006, she reunited with Keanu Reeves in a romantic drama, The Lake House. I don't know if you guys know about that.
I remember hearing the title, yes.
Yeah. So basically, she went on through her drama phase.
I'm guessing
the drama after drama after drama after drama. Basically.
I'm guessing the drama.
Also, in terms of actually being, being nominated for Razzies, Sandra Bullock did get nominated for one. For the year 2009, she was nominated. She won the Worst Actress Award for her role in All About Steve as Mary Horowitz.
Also a Disney movie, apparently, now.
Well, yeah. This means that this movie should be on HBO Max, right? Since it's Warner Brothers, right?
She's
But
literally.
ideally, yes.
It should be, but it's Warner Brothers, so
She-
it could. I'm checking right now.
Okay,
So I
so
have-
both,
And since
she was al-
HBO Max doesn't exist. Well, sorry, Max. Sorry, I should
I'm gonna.
say.
Yeah,
Doesn't exist around here, so it's on Netflix.
She was literally calling the coach mid-game to tell him how to run a play.
Not just that, she like I said,
Jova,
look,
don't you
look,
see? Sandra Bullock is a fucking goddess. She can
Look-
do anything in this
look
fucking movie.
also look at her. She has a badge with his face on it. Like,
To
come
show
on.
just how much she supports
Also,
Also, to
him.
answer your question,
so
no.
much Pepsi.
The Blind Side is not on HBO on Max, but the movie Blindsided, the TV show Blindsided, or is.
Well, I don't think that
Or
has anything
movie.
to do with the Blind Side. So
Yeah,
that's
wait.
interesting.
Actually, it says the tale of Michael Orr, whose journey has been.
Oh,
a
okay,
perfect
then.
storm of
I guess
turmoil
there is an
and
Yeah,
actual.
that's what they should-
Gone.
That's what blindsided. That's what they should call the making up biopic of this movie, where basically the actual
it is a biography.
basically the actual guy. It will be a biopic about the actual Michael Orr who objects to this movie in particular. I mean, I would love. I mean, it'd be like that. It'd be like that project. It'd be like what if Tim Roth actually got to actually play Sepp Blatter as how he really was, an absolute shithead of a FIFA president.
So, at the very least, I guess Michael Orr did get a more better, proper documentary, it sounds like.
Yeah, he did. Also, she was in 2007 in the supernatural thriller Premonition. However, shortly before this movie, in 2009, she returned to her roots a bit by being in The Proposal, which was a romantic comedy that she did with Ryan Reynolds. And after that, yes, it was this movie. Yes. And this movie, in fact, I'm seeing right here, this movie opened at the box office at number 2, right behind Twilight New Moon. I will say this, Twilight New Moon is a funnier movie. I will say that.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sorry, I was looking. No.
He was
I
talking about the
what was
ref.
happening on screen.
yeah.
Oh, okay, then.
Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
Ugh.
Thanks,
Oh.
Katana.
My God.
But yeah, biased ref. Yeah, you unfortunately get those sometimes in the game, so I guess it's gotta show how the team can win, despite the ref clearly being in favor of the other team.
See, here's the thing. When this movie is not doing this sappy, stupid shit, it's doing all the cliches of your typical sport movie that I try to avoid like the plague.
Yeah, I was about to say, I see now we're in sports drama territory. Good to know.
Well, to be fair, it's Michael Oher, so that's fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But can I watch Coach Carter instead? If I wanted a sports drama, I'd rather watch that.
Again,
Oh, I
to
guess
be-
it's now the moment where he turns the game on its side.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, after that, oh God. Guess what, Jova? After this, she was in another romantic comedy called Forces of. Oh no, never mind. No, this is a. Never mind. I'm.
Also, this
misreading
tactic Michael's doing, is that allowed?
I don't know, Jova.
If I recall correctly, he's doing the right points of. Okay, that might be a bit overkill.
What is
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
So,
That got him
no,
a
I get it.
flag.
This is American football by problem child rules. I love how the daughter. I love how the daughter is a cheerleader. She's you.
Played by Phil Collins' daughter.
I'm not done.
All right.
I'm not done.
While Teo continues to plaster himself.
I'm spiraling to madness.
Exactly.
This truly is a
Well,
Lovecraftian story. I don't care if my liver will burst in 10 years from now. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Now I'm gonna have
All
to.
right,
go.
relax.
Don't worry, guys. I'll save Teo. Teo, do you have some? Teo, would you stop doing? No, I can't do. I can't do a Southern accent.
Okay.
I'm gonna be. Tail
Also, I'm
savior.
picturing now Pedro's avatar with the Care America.
Also, in regards to what he got a yellow flag for, apparently even the referees weren't too sure about that, so maybe he was
guys,
doing that
You're
technically.
the referees. You should know the fucking rules.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm having fun.
So much Pepsi in this. Between
I mean,
this
I'm
and
glad-
between
I mean, I'm
this and
glad
Bionic
someone
Commando,
is.
what was Pepsi doing with the product placement this year?
Well,
Maybe because they thought. Because they thought they were in a quote-unquote inspiring biopic, that would be the best publicity for them.
Ah, yes, the inspiration of making convincing burps.
Okay, so here's the fun
Yeah.
thing. Okay,
Yeah, let's go with that. What?
so yeah, Jova, for the most part,
Stay
after this
so
movie,
tall.
she did return to her more lighthearted roots as an actress for the most part, but she still participated in 2011's Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, which was another super Oscar baity movie. Now, to be fair, she wasn't the main character in that one. She was the wife of Tom Hanks's in that movie. But yeah, she did for the most part stop making this kind of shit. At least.
Again, there was Bird Box in 2014, I think. What year was it? I forgot. Or I don't remember what year Bird Box was. It.
Oh, sure. Movies like those are more like passion projects rather than Oscar baity
Yeah.
bullshit. So, when I say that kind of stuff, I'm talking about stuff like
Terminator.
Michael Oher, the Terminator. What?
I wish. Okay.
Michael Oher, the Terminator.
I'm not gonna say that I would prefer watch Terminator Dark Fate over this, but I would want to watch Terminator Genesis over this.
Oh no, never. I'll tell you this much.
I won't go that far.
I'll tell you this much. I'll take this over Terminator Salvation because now that movie to me is painful.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
I'll
with
take
Salvation.
that.
movies you're
I'll
talking
take
about.
that-
I thought they only
I'll
made
take
two
that over-
Terminator movies.
I'll take that over this just because it has robots in it. This is nothing. I can watch a sport match on YouTube if I want. It has
Alright.
real people in it.
Terminator Salvation is just basically a bunch of loud noise signifying nothing. It's just basically Christian Bale and Sam Worthington running around shooting things and shouting a lot.
Yeah.
But that scene with Arnold
And in
was
Christian Bale's
interesting.
case, literally shouting at the director of photography.
Oh, look
And
at that
apparently
guy.
this is getting viral.
Yeah, Michael Oher is the most amazing football player ever, don't you know?
Okay, I forgot. Remind me, we did mention, but remind me again, what state are we supposed to be in? Virginia?
I think
Tennessee.
Yeah,
Tennessee, which is one of the
Memphis.
southern states.
Yes.
It would be so hilarious if they still managed to smack in a
Oh my God.
Confederate flag and
I'm
pretend
sorry,
that
I have to
something
put this out.
happened.
I have to put this out. Now she's even coaching the fucking cheerleaders. Is there anything this woman can do?
Well,
Sorry,
you see, she's like the
Pedro.
mom
Be
from-
an
she's like the mom
interesting
from,
character.
Pedro,
Yeah.
she's
Pedro.
just that good. Don't you
I
Pedro.
guess she is.
She's
I
like the
guess
mom
she is.
from the 100 Girlfriends. She's so rich that she can do anything.
Yeah, except Ahara is an actually good character.
Also, that she's mine. Don't you dare.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tia, I know
is
you're
Ahara your
drunk,
favorite, Tia?
but no.
That's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Ahara is a perfectly awesome woman.
I know. Tia, no. We're gonna have to fight for this.
Oh, you're into the mom too, Dej.
I mean, can you blame him?
No,
Exactly.
no, I don't.
Let's face it.
No. She is a 10 out of 10.
Remember, it's kind of like it's like that scene in the penultimate episode. Wait a minute, Mom. Do you mean to tell me you asked my boyfriend
Okay.
to be your boyfriend? Oh, please. How can you
Okay, I
possibly blame me?
kind of lost track outside of Sandra Bullock being patronizing. What is going on?
Okay. Basically, there's some scouts out, I think, from the NFL to scope out Orr since, they've...
Because they saw the video going viral and they want to see if he actually can fit the performance, I guess.
Yeah, and Owen did go on to the NFL.
So I guess that's what they're doing. They're seeing
don't
how
know.
he was talented, the
I don't
scout.
know. Everybody just pulls their phones at the same time.
Yeah, they're Motorola GM.
Yeah, remember when Motorola was a thing?
It's still technically present, just not as powerful as it was. Oh, God.
What do you mean you could? And I love how
FedEx.
Sandra Bullock. I love how Sandra Bullock's like. What do you mean? I coached him. God damn it.
Also,
Yeah, I'm more of a coach than you, Ben.
also, those may not be NFL coaches, but more like college football coaches who are scoping him out still.
At some pushy Ivy League school.
I love how- I
not
love
even
how- I love how-
Metal Gear Rising memes can save me.
The other thing that this movie basically suggests that this woman apparently had no life before she met Michael. Like seriously, her
Don't you see?
entire life
Remember,
now-
Pedro. Remember, Pedro. It's not like she was changing life. He was changing hers.
Hers, exactly.
Don't
see,
you
this
see-
is good corporation. Oh
Don't
my
you see?
God.
The idea
Because-
is
She's already had a family.
well, don't you see? She's worried that she may not truly have been doing any real good until she helped him, which I get it. Okay, it's part of the white guilt trope, essentially, where, suddenly somebody realizes that they were part of the problem just by not doing anything, but now they finally are doing something, and that truly makes them a good person. Now, let me just state, it is possible to do this kind of writing. That being said, you want to know just where the heck you're coming from, otherwise you will come off as sad, preachy, or just trying to earn brownie points that you do not have.
See, this is why I love this movie, ironically, because it's so great to roast it. Like, it's so fun to roast it.
But my God,
Yeah.
only do
Okay,
it
okay,
ironically.
question
This is
though,
this is the kind of movie where you get a bunch of friends, you get drunk, like Teo is here,
And me.
yeah, and you just have a fun movie night where you just roast a piece of crap movie. See?
I'll admit,
Also,
I
think
mean,
I saw.
okay, again, Sandra Bullock's been in much better movies since this. Again, you mentioned Gravity earlier.
again, I guess finally getting that Oscar opened her eyes. I can.
I saw the other actress Sandra Bullock is talking with right
Kathy
now.
Bates.
Okay.
Again, Kathy Bates can do better.
Also, yes, again, she was in Gravity. And that movie even is a scene where she's doing weird noises just to stay alive in order to not fall asleep, like yapping like a dog. Even then she has more dignity than in this.
The reason
Again, I'll even take Bird Box, compared to this, and that movie is still bad on its own.
Although in this movie's I can't believe I'm saying it, but in this movie's defense, I can't, in all good honesty, say in terms of like filmmaking and stuff like that, I can't say this is a worse movie that Sandra Bullock has been the main star in than, say, Speed 2. Yeah, that's the thing, though. Just because, yes. Willem Dafoe can make any scene he's in, even in a really bad movie, very entertaining. The problem is, he's not in all that movie. And when he's not on the movie, Speed 2 is a massive bore fest.
To you, maybe. There's me and Joe.
This, at least, this, at the very least, is not boring whenever Willem Dafoe isn't on screen.
Nah, I'm gonna have to disagree. Speed 2 felt like a good movie. Maybe not the best sequel, but in a vacuum, it was a...
So it goes against the spirit of the freaking title, Speed. It's on a slow-ass cruise liner.
Again,
All right.
Maybe not the best Speed sequel, but in a vacuum, at least a good movie. I cannot say that about this movie.
The father 10
let's
episodes,
not get into an argument
was a
about
better
Speed 2
sequel
again.
than
Come
this.
on, let's just...
But let's not...
We're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
really,
And
well-
also, Speed 2 does not have racial issues going behind it, so... That's...
That's a good argument, Wibbs.
And also, Speed 2 was not pissing on a man's real-life legacy, so... Sorry,
Yep.
I'm gonna say Speed 2 has like
Yeah.
1,000,000 points
I'm gonna
morally
have to
and
go on that
quality
one.
ahead of this.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine a speech that was actually based on someone's real life story?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to side with Joe.
That guy looks like Vince McMahon.
Oh my god, he does.
See, like I said, the best, again, what I usually do with this movie is I just pretend it's a comedy.
And
That's basically what I do.
And let me tell you, Pedro, you were probably ahead of the curve because nowadays the only way to legit watch it would be a comedy and not seriously, given the controversies as of recent. Like, seriously, it's amazing to see this stuff happen in real time because a lot of the movies that get heavily ripped apart are, they tend to be much older since, they were from those times, but this movie.
It's because this movie is such an easy target. This movie literally puts itself right up for scrutiny and mockery.
Well, this movie has it all. It has the Oscar bait nonsense. It has the fact that it has the white guilt and white savior nonsense. It has the fact that it was supposed to be sending a good message, but it turns out the real life people behind it are scum. It really just won the karmic jackpot of awfulness.
And by the way, it's still going.
Yes, well...
Yeah, I was going to say, we're only 36 minutes left.
Well, now's the time for the montage, of course.
That's one of the big problems with this movie. This movie doesn't have enough plot to justify even its runtime. Like, this plot can be easily told over the course of, 90 minutes tops, and even that is maybe a stretch. I feel like 1 hour and 15 would probably be enough. But yeah, no, they stretch this out to 2 hours by putting in a lot of filler scenes that don't really add anything. So
they've even got the kid interrogating the bloody people at the university.
But don't you see, Edward? He's a genius kid.
I'm guessing.
No, it's supposed to be funny.
Why not get the mom to do it?
I'm guessing that, like Dead says, they're just trying to be funny. Like, obviously the guys aren't really answering to it because I presume Ower would hopefully get more say in this than the literal child in the room.
I think
Jova, why would
that would be terrible.
Jova, why would Owen need to do anything in these interviews? He can just let his new adopted white brother do everything for him.
Why did this movie made this much money? Like, even taking aside the fact that it's a lower budget, it still made 300 million at the box office, means that a considerable amount of people watched it.
Allow me, because a lot of white Americans went to see it to make themselves feel better about themselves.
Great, another reason to hate the United States.
I mean,
the titty bar.
Oh, good lord!
I could make a really dirty joke, right? All right, I want you to feed him Italian. Great.
I'm not hearing this.
Go ahead, Joe.
Like,
wait, Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
Of course, he's not going to take him to Chainsaw Massacre. I'm pretty sure he's too young for that.
Anyway, to be fair, when it comes to the box office, that was worldwide.
Yeah, to be fair, yes. So
that was worldwide.
It could mean that, for all we know, a lot of people in Japan or something went to see it.
Fine, I'll rephrase it. A lot of white people all over the world went to see this in theaters just to make themselves feel better about their lives.
So you know this kind. Okay, I know that you're just as drunk as me potentially, but do you know about a website that reports the box office of movies? I think it was
Box Office Mojo.
Let me give it a try.
Wikipedia does.
Yeah. I'll have a look it up. Fortunately, I've got my phone with me, so I can look at this while watching the movie.
There it is, The Blind Side. Domestic, 255 million, almost 256. International, 53.248. So no, most of the introits were from America.
That said, a sizable portion.
I mean, it makes sense. It's an America-centric story.
Also, again, taking aside the social issues, it's a movie about American football, so it's probably also for that.
Yeah. Like, to be fair, while Pedro does joke about white Americans wanting to feel good, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Sports movies, especially sports movies around American football, were big. And again, to give the benefit of the doubt, seeing as how the controversies of the movies, from what I know, came out more so after the movie had had its run, so I would like to assume, for the sake of humanity, that most people were coming here to see the true life story of Michael Orr in that regard, since, again, I don't know how much it came... Well, okay, it wasn't a bit of the advertising. Like, now, as
I
for
mean,
why...
that in terms of like the posters, they only put Sandra Bullock's name on it.
Yeah, awkward. But that being said, as for why people ate it up back in the day, it has a lot of the sappy, feel-good notes, and again, this is going off of the knowledge that we had of the movie at the time. Ugh.
I'm not even sure if this scene was in the script. I get the feeling Kathy Bates was just going off her rocker and they decided to keep this footage in. Like, seriously, what is this scene?
But,
All right. So wait, okay. Wait, why is he choosing it based off the vibe of?
I think
It's
it's
for
about the
the-
team. He's
yeah.
choosing the team he's gonna be in.
And given
Yeah.
that he's being filmed, I'm guessing that they're doing it to make it look dramatic too.
I'm also gonna love it. The sturdy teachers
Hey.
are now having to admit that this guy is getting a good score.
But no,
nope.
he's got a D.
Yeah, this movie can suck my D.
So now this teacher didn't give him a C, which means Sandra is mine.
Oh my god.
Le-
Uh,
Oh, the English. Oh, he's the English teacher. Yeah, that checks out.
you're a disgrace to the goatee.
Look, I think the issue is that we don't get to see his actual work. So, for all I know, and this is a thing from my own experience, English professors are some of the most highly volatile and subjective teachers in the business.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Kathy,
I love how
Not
Quentin
mine.
Aaron-
They liked me.
I love
Except
how
for
Quentin-
except for my 7th grade one. That she's a bitch. She can go. John.
Yes, Pedro.
Anyway.
I love how Quentin Aaron genuinely looks like he doesn't want to be in this movie.
But it's like,
has Kathy Bates actually been in anything good outside of what was it?
Misery.
Misery.
Yeah.
She was also in Titanic. I know she's been in 2.5 Men. That show I recall.
Yes, the show that was at one point was convinced that Final Fantasy X had multiplayer.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. That was 2.5 Men that did that? I
Yes,
thought that
yes,
was Charlie's Angels that did that.
That one might have Final Fantasy VIII, but it seems to be a recurring misconception, Jova, because, coach multiplayer is a thing, so of course every game has it, even in Japanese RPGs.
So you're telling me that there are several bouts of media, well, multiple bouts of media, that are convinced that a Final Fantasy game that doesn't have multiplayer has multiplayer.
Well,
My God.
okay. Did that start after like 11 came out or something?
Also, just to ask about, again, I'm not entirely, maybe it's because I'm plastered already, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on in this scene. So, like, the repetition teacher, the person, Katie Bates' character who's helping, Michael getting better grades, apparently he's not doing enough of a good job, and the father has to step in.
Yes, apparently, because
Again,
keep in mind, Katie Bates is not part of the Toy family, and they're the most perfect, awesome
Oh,
people who
yeah,
are
that's
capable
what I
of
was going to
doing
say.
me.
So far, this movie's message to me seems to be the family members are like better teachers than the actual teachers, which is a message that I'm pretty sure I've seen in like almost every one of these kind of movies ever.
Okay.
Yeah, this
what
movie has the unintentional message of Southern white families are great, actually.
Teachers,
Don't you know?
teachers suck.
Okay. To be fair, it seems to be that it's just the one teacher who's still holding out on the grades with him. Again, like, it seems that the tutor, played by Kathy Bates, has been doing good by him since he has been getting good grades in pretty much every class except that one. And the thing is, I don't know how good his work is. Like, they never show us a little sneak or look at it or anything.
Look at that, guys. He's reflecting on all of his experiences in the movie that we've seen in the movie.
Wait.
And
Is he about to say it? from the other side, or could you say the blind side?
Shut up.
Uh, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. Okay,
Yeah, we were
I'm not
blindsided by this, huh?
the guy who
Shut up!
plays the guy who plays Michael in this movie. I don't know. Something about his performance just seems a bit.
I think
Yeah,
it's
Just 'cause
the.
he's-
Wooden that he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really get the feeling that a lot of this might be how he was directed to be.
It also says a
Yeah.
lot. I don't know if he actually was nominated, but it says a lot about for a movie like this. It's Sandra Bullock who gets the Oscar, and not actually the person of color actor.
I mean,
it's because
I
Sandra
mean-
Bullock is the main character. It's like Avatar. Aang isn't the main character. It's Katara.
Yes,
Well,
there's a.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, yeah. I mean, John Lee Hancock, the guy who directed and wrote this, he was the guy that could have, told. I mean, yeah, the actors are giving the performance that they were told, and John Lee Hancock could have told them to do better or give a performance a slightly different way, but he didn't. And, well, that's what he got.
Are they having a slideshow about the guy's entire life?
No,
is that
no,
a
no,
common
no.
thing in American universities, Joe?
It actually is a thing where sometimes they'll show baby pictures of students who are graduating from high school.
Okay, I guess it's a cultural thing. We just don't do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, why not just use a picture of him when they were actually at the school?
To be
I
fair,
swear.
it's the idea of showing, how far they've come. Granted,
Yeah.
it could also be a school-by-school thing. Maybe some
A
schools
couple
don't do
of
it.
cities in my country do have a satirical way of people who get graduation, so I get the thought process maybe behind it.
So,
Alas, at university, I never got to the point where I could get to wear those hats and all that.
So, congratulations, Michael. You did it. So, we should be nearing the end of the movie. There's
is
about
it-
30
Oh,
minutes
it's
left.
25
he
minutes
just
left.
graduated. He just graduated, and he's apparently really rising in his football career. So, movie over. I mean,
Now there's 25
do we-
minutes left.
do
So,
we really-
can, the-
So, what more conflict are we going to throw into this? Exactly?
clearly an alien invasion. That's the reason
Well, hey,
why.
maybe.
Yes.
You know that scene in the beginning where, remember that scene at the beginning of the movie? Maybe this is actually how we got to that. This is this is immediately express the movie. Joker's
Oh my
favorite.
god, yeah, Jova's favorite. Also, that's the perfect excuse to have Michael show up in multiverses, don't you know? We already have LeBron James, let's have another sport real life character.
God,
Yeah, well, wait.
Michael?
I mean, wasn't Warner Brothers also involved in that movie that was basically about the making of Air Jordan, or was that just Amazon?
I don't remember.
Oh, you're talking about Air, the Ben Affleck movie?
Yeah.
It was a Warner Brothers movie. No, it was an Amazon
It
movie.
was, Air film.
Oh, here
Watch
we
it out.
go.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning of the
Warner
movie.
Brothers released it internationally.
As to
I'm
why
not
she...
entirely, I'm not entirely certain what exactly is the point of this conversation.
She's
Is
an
this a job interview?
She's an
Go on,
NCAA investigator tasked to look into the matter to determine that the Toys took him in and unduly influenced just so he could pay for their alma mater. This is very awkward in hindsight, knowing the truth of, again, them eventually screwing him out of millions of dollars, so... But basically, again, it's her job to make sure that they're actually doing this for his good rather than just their own.
Oh,
Here we are at the very beginning.
Again, what's this? What's this? This movie's basically. It'd be like if Jack Bauer was interrogating a bloody high
Again.
school person.
To be fair to the woman, it's her job to make sure that the family isn't taking advantage of him, just so that they can pay
Yeah,
for them.
I know.
which, as you said, Joe, in hindsight, it's very awkward.
I get that point, but why isn't she interrogating them as opposed to?
Well, okay.
Because she wants to hear it from his side first.
I get that, but I think her approach should be more the other way around. She should be like more normal to him and maybe slightly more hostile towards the people she's more suspicious about.
It depends, Waves. A lot of times, social services have to try to hear the people who believe they are victims in order to assess if it actually is the truth or not.
Let me put it like
I
this.
understand.
Let me put it like this. If she went to them first, for all she knew, they could then prepare him if they knew the whole contents of this.
So you're saying, Joe, it would be a perfect Ace Attorney case?
Yeah, like, so to be fair, she is just doing her job.
No, stop, come back.
Now, that being said, this is clearly setting up for what feels like a lie-revealed second act breakup. Wow. The poorly aged meter is just off the chart with this. Like, maybe not so much on the college thing, but them exploiting and using the kid.
I'm actually curious. How did you guys knew already about this movie to do the first commentary?
Pedro told us about it.
Also, again, it was a famous movie.
I did not hear it about aside from you guys mentioning, to be honest.
I might have heard about it.
This movie was big only in 2009, really, because right after that, it basically got forgotten. Like,
God, it really is like those movies from the early to mid 2000s that just came and went and nobody remembers them these days, like Push.
Oh my god, are we actually suggesting that the Tillys may have screwed up a bit in how they brought up the boy?
Yeah, it's a bit too late to start trying to add nuance to the movie.
For the record, I'm almost done with the alcohol, actually.
Drink the whole thing.
I'm going to. Well, I mean, considering that I've already had a lot already and there's only 20 minutes left, I'm going to stop with the alcohol.
Don't try that.
I'm joking, Tio. It's okay. You're
Oh,
strong.
Deji, I know when you're lying.
Also,
No, I don't want you to die of liver poisoning because of me.
I don't know from the husband. You're the best person I know. She's the best person you know? How many people do you know?
Okay.
Well, she is his
to be
wife.
fair, she's his wife. Of course he'd say that.
Also,
Yeah.
Deji,
I mean, it'd be like if I'm pretty
it's
sure. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm pretty sure Vanessa at least said something close to that to you.
Yeah, I can tell that if my wife did something like this, I wouldn't say that to her. I would divorce her most
also,
likely.
Deji, don't worry. I am the architect of my own demise, so don't worry.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
but let me guess.
I mean, I'm a bit. I feel a bit fuzzy myself, but even I have my own limits, so I'm gonna stop.
It isn't.
Oh God, they tell me that he's basically bragging about banging her or something.
I'm guessing he's more so talking about how she comes about for drugs.
Ah, okay.
It also comes into the whole other, awkward thing about stereotyping. Like, as a general rule of thought, not just for this case, but if you keep labeling someone or a group entirely in a certain manner, eventually, out of frustration, or because there's no other way out, they'll start being enabled by it and, feeling empowered by that, which definitely will not improve things out.
Another thing, by the way, like, we already established that the toys, at least in this movie, I don't know how the real ones were, that they're super mad rich. Like I said, they can even afford to have 2 TVs right next to each other. You know, so
I don't think. I mean, we're decently well off. Even we didn't have that.
yeah, and did they really need to set up this entire thing just so they can, take advantage of his football money?
Oh, well, okay. Are you talking about in real life or?
I think in real life, Jova.
Actually, I'm talking in the movie. Actually,
Oh, okay.
The real life thing, I haven't actually read Michael's book, so I don't know.
I mean, again, they were trying to essentially get him under a scholarship, which, even if you are good on money, a scholarship is always good to have, especially if it can help stave off those god-awful student loans. So...
No, that I get. What I mean is that, like, the movie's pointing out that the possibility that the only reason they're doing this for Michael is to take advantage of him and get money off of him, right?
For their alma mater specifically.
Yeah. But they're super rich, so why would they go out of their way to put to make them to put them like this?
Pedro. You know what rich people want? More money.
Hold on. Let me explain. Like, it sounds like what they're being accused of is trying to push profits towards their alma mater specifically. Basically, they say about how the husband and wife apparently had terms in college. Like, Latoya was even a cheerleader there, essentially. So it sounds like the conspiracy is to push money towards their college.
What did you just say?
I'm plastered the shit, and even that, the dialogue could not pass from one ear to the other.
This guy literally just said he wants to bang both both Sandra Bullock and the daughter character, who will
the underage daughter.
The underage daughter. Jesus Christ! Did we really need to throw this shit in this?
Again, is there any reason why?
Okay, whoa! What's with all these cops?
Is there any? Well, the one action.
Oh no, Kevin Dunn took over.
Go on, Jova.
The one action scene we get, but why is it that pretty much most of the black people are portrayed in this movie as a bad influence? It's
that answer is obvious, Joe, because Michael really needs the help from the white people to get all this. And now it is. Now I think it's now. If I remember correctly, we're gonna get fun fact. This line we're about to get, it was in the trailer, even though it's one of the last scenes in the movie. So basically, if you watch the trailer, trust me, after we're done with this commentary, go watch the trailer. The trailer basically tells you the entire movie. Oh, here we go. Listen to this.
Oh no!
Sandra's gonna take down the gang. And they go, listen here.
Oh no, you didn't!
Oh no, you didn't! All right, let's listen. That was the line from the trailer. You threaten my son. You threaten me.
Oh boy!
So what do you think, Joe? She really told him off, didn't she?
I guess that put him in his place. Oh no, she knows her guns.
Yeah, we were really
So Jova, the movie decided she won that one. What do you think?
Okay, wait, Tio. I need to know. This or Felix the Cat?
No, I don't know how to answer that right
Felix
now.
the Cat is shorter. I will say that.
I haven't even seen Felix.
It's also intentionally psychedelic, so I guess I'll take that.
So, Joe, what do you think? The movie.
I mean, that opening scene alone is more interesting.
So yeah, Joe, but the movie clearly decided that Sandra won that one. What do you think?
So that's really it with those guys, I guess. Like, I mean, I feel like Like, granted, maybe the guy was just all talk from the get-go, but I don't know. The fact that he was legit packing himself would suggest that he might be just a little bit more dangerous.
Also, I think this scene was in one of the movie posters.
Because so yeah, try that in real life. Go up to a gang member and call him a bitch. I'm sure things will go by just fine.
Like, I don't even know
course.
if they were gang members, but they are folks in the hood, as some would put it. Forget, does he ever find his mother?
Oh, never mind. Michael is speaking Oscar-ese right now. So
Oscaries. That's the first time I've heard that.
How long until the movie is over? 10 minutes.
Oscar-ese is now my coin term dibs for Oscar Beatty dialogue. Oscar-ese.
Okay, yeah, Pedro, you should apply to the Oxford Dictionary people
Also,
and get them to add that in.
On that note, Jova, wasn't there like a year in particular in which they let a bunch of random Hollywood tourists have in and shake hands with the people in the front row, as in they were trying to pass up as good Samaritans, but they looked awful as a result?
I don't recall.
Oh, here we go. So basically, the idea is that now she's apparently trying to have a proper conversation. Okay, so do you want to do this or?
Okay, don't make promises you can't keep, because I'm pretty sure there's someone with your job, if she has one.
Wait, she has a job?
Be at every game.
Wait, she has a job? As far as I can tell, her entire life is just this poor kid. Like, does she even have a job?
Maybe. I don't know the real life story of this woman.
Okay, but in the context of this movie, as far as I can tell, she doesn't have a job. I have yet to see her work in anything.
I could have sworn I saw her working something.
I don't know what the real Mrs. Tworry was like.
Here's the thing, Jova. Even if we did see like one brief scene of it, for all intents and purposes, once she met Michael, she just dedicated her entire life to him and nothing else, apparently. So
yeah. Okay, her job is that she's an interior designer, according to the plot on Wikipedia.
That's why she was trying to sell the carpet. Okay.
Right, okay, yeah. So she's an interior designer, and her husband is a wealthy businessman, according to the plot synopsis.
You're full. Oh god, everybody.
Also, apparently when the real Michael Oher decided, fuck this conservatorship, I want out of it. Apparently, the Tworries were like, okay, fine, come out of it. Not that that makes them any better, mind you. It's just.
So basically, the whole
it makes it look slightly better than Britney Spears' dad, but that's it.
So basically, the whole problem of are they doing this for their own gain or just helping Michael got solved because but don't you see, I want to go to this school because my family went to it, and that's enough of a reason for me.
Cause get it now, they're his family.
Yay!
His family with His family with a mother that may have made them targets of that gang, given how she pretty much insulted what I assume is the gang leader right to his face. But
yeah, and allow me to remind you, Jova, he literally told him to his face that he wants to bang both Sandra and the underage daughter. So,
which may have been him doing some form of locker room talk, which is still skeevy, mind you, but Jesus Christ. Could you be more on the nose? Like, what was even his point and purpose of saying that, aside from making Michael mad enough to get that scene to come narratively?
I don't know. Because
you see, Michael, she's like an ogre. She has layers.
I guess.
And there's the sappy piano again.
And by the way, of all the family members, the daughter is by far the most useless of the characters in this movie. She did not really do anything.
No, no, she did
Pedro!
one
She
thing.
let him sit at the same table as her in school.
No, she went to him.
Yeah,
All right, she went to him.
Sure.
That alone
Well
doesn't
done.
make you. That alone doesn't make you a character.
But it makes her a hero.
It makes you.
What
it
do
makes
you know about characterizations?
it
Have
makes
you
your,
ever written anything?
No, but I've read about it.
Oh
from
god, I hate
experts.
that stupid fucking argument.
Oh, you read about it. Yeah, when I've read this cooking book, doesn't mean I know how to cook.
Jesus, Dej, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were drunk too.
Ugh.
Yeah, okay, yeah, prove, yeah. Just because you've read a book on something,
Can this
don't
movie
make
be
you an
over
expert.
already?
Don't worry, Tio. We've got like, let me check the length. About 6 minutes.
Oh,
I'm
look
not
at
sure how
that!
much of
Look
it
at that!
is
They're saying
credits.
The same what happened to the other members of the gang.
they all died off
That
screen.
gangster died.
There you go, Dibs. All the bad guys died off screen. Congrats.
How convenient. I'm surely this rich family had nothing to do with anything.
Lovely.
God, wouldn't that be a dark plot twist if it turns out that the mom secretly was going around killing each of the gang members?
Sandra Bullock goes into. They're having their own meeting in whatever they go to, right? Sandra Bullock kicks the door open with a Tommy gun. Say hello to my little friend, bitches.
What do you
And
mean
that's
you
how we end the
talk-
movie.
No,
Hold on. Michael,
Michael,
I thought
All
All
American
American,
and
I only miss him with
Yeah, we're not.
help from Miss Sue.
Collins
Come
followed in
on,
her
this
mom's
is-
footsteps and became a cheerleader at Ole Miss. Sean and Leanne still live in Memphis.
And more. There's
Wow.
more movie.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. Meet the Fockers, another film that used this was a better movie than this.
A freeze frame! Everything you... Good lord.
You mean? Oh my god.
yeah, this is real footage. No,
Oh, and there's
There's the real
okay,
Michael Orr.
the real Michael Orr. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he was happy with how this movie turned out.
no, he wasn't. We've already discussed this in
We've
the
already
past
discussed
2
this.
hours.
Yeah, I know. I was being sarky.
Oh, and there's the
Oh,
real
look, there's the family.
Yeah.
The real family. And I guess that guy next to him was his brother. Oh man, this is kind of sad now again. Knowing
Nice
that
movie.
nowadays
I'm
they
assuming there's no other. I'm assuming
Yeah.
there's no other scenes after this.
No. Michael
Again,
does
Michael
not
Orr
get involved.
will be back to the Multiversus Initiative.
Oh God!
wow. This
Like I said,
How
LeBron,
does it work?
LeBron James is already in it. What's another star, player you need to, for it to do?
Well, apparently,
I mean-
if the initial leaks are anything to go by, originally it was supposed to be a Space Jam 2 game before it
All
became
right,
a
all
Football
right.
form.
Go on,
Uh,
Lives.
Dibs, final
Before
thoughts.
everything. All right. Since I'm, I think I'm about as drunk as Teal at the minute, and I might need a little bit of help. Making my force more cohesive. So I'll start off with the plot of this specific adaptation of this guy's life. Honestly, I've seen much better structured biopics. Like taking out the controversies of the actual real, parents of the Twowy family. Yeah, let's start with the music then. Okay, the music. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the licensed tracks that much because the licensed track. The actual score of the movie is really weird. It's like Carter Burwell didn't get that much of a budget to make the score. It's like it felt like something you could make on, FL Studio half the time. This is meant to be a big budget movie. Like, it doesn't sound all that impressive, like, in terms of the actual composition of it. I've heard better Carter Burwell sound as well. But honestly, at times that you're talking about the story, it felt more like Sandra Bullock was more the main character.
He
The guy who
is.
was meant to be actually be about.
Mhm.
And partly that's mostly because there's only Sandra Bullock's name that's on the poster. Like not even the actual guy they got to play Michael Owen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay. In hindsight now, because of all the stuff, because of all the trying to help equality out more in movie making, the fact that the white savior trope was still going in 2009 is yeah, it makes you shiver a bit.
Yeah.
And that's a white person speaking.
Like
I can't imagine how actual black people would feel.
Like 15 years. Not that long ago.
Yeah, in some aspects, 15 years does feel like a while, but in others, like this case, 15 years. How much? I can only hope that we made a bit more progress
For
in
all
that
the
front
issues
in 15 years.
for all the issues in media, I do believe that people are at least more aware not to do this kind of stuff. Not saying that it's completely gone, but like I said, I don't think I've seen a movie a movie. Well, okay, video games wise, I guess there is David Cage's Detroit Become Human, although admittedly, I guess that would technically be Robot Savior Complex instead.
How I would view tropes like that, it's like racism itself. It's never going to completely go away, unfortunately, but it's how you deal with it. Like around here, when it comes to incidents involving racism with football, for example, I don't believe you can ever eradicate it, unfortunately, but I do believe you could do a lot better at dealing with it when it comes up.
Like I said, racism can come from even those with good intentions,
Yeah,
unintentional as it may be.
yeah. In those circumstances, it depends. If the racism is just purely malicious and it's just coming from a complete dickhead, then by all means, lay into him. But if it's just for more of a case of in ignorance, for lack of a better term, it's better to just explain to them why that might come off as them being racist, even if they don't intend to, and then they can, and then they have a chance of learning from it and being better. Back the subject of this movie, though, yeah, it feels like the character of Michael Over in this movie, half the time gets blindsided. Yeah, that's it.
That's the
He gets
title of the
blindsided in
movie.
favor of Sandra Bullock. And to be fair to Sandra Bullock, questionable Southern accent aside, I think she does give a decent performance. But I don't know, in terms of like performances that would deserve an Oscar more, I think Bradley would be more deserving for that. And bear in mind that was a movie in which she spent a lot of it inside a box.
Also, had George Clooney with a jetpack.
I mean, I know I wouldn't object to that myself. What else is there?
That is a good question. What else is in this movie?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I mean, basically that's it really. The only things that are really noteworthy to talk about is the weird score, the whether intentional or not, questionable aspects concerning racial stereotypes in this movie, and certain tropes like the whole white savior one. I mean, it was 2009 and they were still doing this. That's actually kind of scary. And okay, this kind of movie makes me wish that they made that someone would actually go out and make an actual other biopic of the actual Michael Omer and how he felt about. I wouldn't mind seeing like a mini series or something about about a dramatization of the actual Michael Oher, seeing all this stuff about him, and especially him getting screwed out of the body and being like, help, and taking steps to rectify the issue.
I don't know about the documentary that Deji linked about, but maybe that's a good start at least.
That documentary is literally called Blindsided too.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I checked online. I unfortunately can't watch it because there's not on any streaming service here in the UK.
Alas.
I might give it a look at some point.
Like I said earlier, I wasn't really that convinced by the actor playing Michael. Unfortunately, it's like he was told only to just pull one face throughout 80% of the movie, and only 20% was he able to pull any other kind of expression or emotion. And when and even when he talks, like his inflection sound really, like, for a better term, monotone. Like it's just basically only one way how he talks. Although I will say I do also pity the actor, because after this, the most high profile role he was in that Left Behind movie, which I don't think any actor deserves to be in that kind of movie.
Not even Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I know. We'll probably get to that at some maybe.
Well, what did you think of the acting? Like, writing be damned or whatnot. The acting.
I've already talked about Sandra Bullock and the guy playing Michael before. Everyone else they played their roles. That's the most I can say about them. The script doesn't even really make any of these other characters all that interesting. It's just basically, here's your role, do it. There you go, done.
All right.
It's mainly the script, I think. It doesn't really help anybody.
Definitely. I think that about covers it, unless we want to go into even stuff like the cinematography or stuff.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Although, one other thing I will add, is that, I mean, the movie was pretty awkward before all the stuff involving the actual Tories came out, but after it, seeing them portrayed as like the most heroic people in existence, only for them to turn out to be pretty shitty people.
So this goes hand in hand with United Passions when you think about it.
Yeah.
I can imagine Hancock coming to you. Threaten my movie. You threaten me.
Yeah, sure. I mean, oh god, it'd be like if Tories, being portrayed as decent people, and it turned out to be real shit. I'm just glad it didn't start like a chain reaction of them basically saying, "Oh no, we'll make a movie about how we were actually the good guys in this scenario." They're basically throwing a pity party movie about themselves. Really, that's about it. It was a movie that was already pretty awkward to start with, and then got worse as the years have gone on, especially with the past couple of years, in which it turns out, like 95% of this movie isn't even really true. Like, I could forgive the odd little historical inaccuracy here and there, because it's a movie, it's a biopic. You have to kind of twist a few things here and there to fit the drama. But when it's like a huge, massive chunk of it, that's when it feels the most awful. And the fact that the guy who the song was about was really screwed out of everything. That just makes it really awkward. I'm glad that I could get this movie off Netflix and I didn't have to spend any money on it, because otherwise,
is that lawsuit? Is that lawsuit still going on as well?
Okay, I can check real quick. Type it in properly. The Blind Side. Legal came against Tory family on September 29th of 2023. The judge terminated the conservatorship that the Tories put on Michael, which the Tory said that they were happy to end. And to and to quote Michael Owerth, as Pedro earlier elaborated, the biggest problem for him in this movie was being portrayed as not being able to read or write. When you go into a locker room and your teammates don't think you can learn a playbook, that weighs heavy. Which, yeah, I can see why being portrayed as basically a really dumb person when at best you've really struggled isn't a big problem. It's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Anything else, or that pretty much it?
That's it, really. It's not very good at all.
All right.
All right.
I'll
Reggie.
actually go next because I don't have too much to say
Go on.
compared to the others, and I just want to go to sleep now.
Oh.
This movie sucks. Okay.
No kidding.
Okay. I'm not the person that's qualified to talk about these social issues, so I'm not gonna step too much on them. Let's just say that even without knowing them or even without being a person, you can definitely feel the movie being super pretentious about being, so condescending, so being snooty over these themes, having this constant aura of, oh, look at me, I'm so great, and it's so annoying as a result because the rest of the movie is about nothing. Like it goes by numbers for a story that, even taking aside the real life issues, nobody cares about it. Like it literally embodies that meme from the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie with Eggman yelling, "Nobody cares." Just no. The fact that I required alcohol to somatize this piece of shit says a lot. And again, that's not even counting to the real life stuff, which screwed over a person that literally did nothing really wrong and was screwed over just for the fact of being talented. How awful is that? Like, come on, man. Just no. This is not it. Again, I cannot really comment too much on the acting. Sandra Bullock doing the Southern accent is funny more than anything. The score is a Hallmark movie. The fact that the composer is doing so much better and yet still so low to do this movie, this is so disgraceful. I'm sorry. Like, no, everything in this movie just doesn't really work as it would be. Maybe it enticed to people who did not care too much about it back in 2009, but no. Again, it's the fact that it got revealed in interviews about the real life events is just a cherry on top. That signifies just how awful this thing is, and it's a good thing that it's forgotten. And really, the only thing that we did is because really the original commentary was relatively old and we needed an update to acknowledge the fact that we know about the situation. But otherwise, fuck this movie. I hope Michael is doing fine now and he can actually get some peace from all of this stupid shit that happened in his poor life. That's it. Next.
It's like Pedro said, if I'm watching this ironically, and as like a sappy Oscar bait flick that nowadays is getting the ridicule that it deserves, yeah, it's a lot funnier than I remember, because I recall just feeling like I was suffering the first time watching it. And mind you, that is because a lot of it was either pointless melodrama or just boring. Now, I guess with a more keen eye, yeah, this movie's hilarious. That being said, at its core, if we're looking at this seriously, this movie is scummy.
Yep.
Like,
it's the best way to enjoy this movie is to just just pretend this is some kind of spoof, like Jova was saying earlier.
This is definitely a movie that summarizes and lives and breathes off the phrase, "Hell's floor is paved with good intentions," because holy crap. Okay, even with the best of intentions in mind, and again, maybe as far as, even despite how much he disliked the movie, could see at least what they were trying to do. Even with that in mind, all the bad stuff surrounding this movie encapsulates and overrides any good intentions they had. Michael Orr was screwed 6 ways to Sunday so badly by the people who were, again, as far as he knew, his lifeline in life. Now, again, not saying he could not have made it without them, which is the opposite of what the movie suggests, but look, okay, it is apparently the case that, yes, they did help him get a better shot in life. That does not mean that they did everything for him like the movie suggests. Like, you know, I'm reminded of Tropic Thunder, a movie specifically made to take the piss out of Hollywood and film cliches. I'm reminded of the Simple Jack one. Now, again, he is not like, you know, I don't want to say he's shown as like as dumb as Simple Jack, but again, I got Simple Jack vibes of how it felt like he could not do a thing until, oh, suddenly this family shows him the way. And like, you know, okay, the idea that they got him better education that he couldn't get beforehand, that's fine. That's neat. The problem is that it suggests that they were holding his hand and that, oh, even the little child brother had to teach him football tactics or at least coach him, which, again, from what we've heard, was not the case from Orr. Again, I can believe that they maybe helped him train, but needing to teach him some of the basics of football? Come on. And the movie is so preachy and sappy, like with the mother going like, oh no, now I'm finally truly doing good by helping this poor lost soul. And of course she does it by also making sure that he doesn't get mixed up with those bad black folk. I mean, again, I'm not sure how much of that stuff was true or not. It's just, again, I can't help but notice that most of the black people we focus on in the movie are portrayed as bad influences. And like, it seems like his brother is fine, but his brother doesn't have a single line in the movie. So, like, what are you trying to say there, script writer? By all means, do explain. And, like, holy cow. And, like, if you thought this movie was uncomfortable back then, it has only grown more uncomfortable with age. Like, I guess a documentary about this movie could showcase a good bout of white savior complex, and I guess if we keep this movie in a time capsule, it is to show, again, how even people from the positive side of things supposedly trying to make things better can screw up and contribute to the problem, the racial issue. Because this feels like people who want to cuddle and cradle us poor black folk because we need a guiding hand. And even if that wasn't what they were going for, tough nuts, that is what this movie is pretty much saying. Like, don't piss on my leg and call it rain. Even if that wasn't the intention, congrats, that is what you put out. And everything geared towards it. The acting, the script, the music. It feels so Oscar baity. Like, yeah, that's the thing. The Oscar bait nonsense at the forefront really just makes the whole venture seem phony. And the thing is, I can totally get why this movie made money, why it would have been popular specifically for that year. It's a feel-good cliche movie. Like, heck, I wouldn't even go so far as to say it was mainly white Americans wanting to feel better about themselves. Like, my guess is people were lured in with the idea of this being a feel-good film, and at the very least, I'm glad that, of all people, there were apparently critics even at the time that were calling that movie out, since it got overall mixed reviews. So I am glad that at the very least, even though it did make money, thank God it didn't make, like, you know, $1 billion, Jesus. But again, I can get why it made money. Doesn't mean it was for a good reason, but like, this movie really is a classic example of the Oscar bait film. The one that pulls out all the stops to tug at your heartstrings because, of course, the way to an Academy official's mindset is through their heart. Or some preachy nonsense to that caliber. Like, congrats, Sandra! You got your Oscar! From this movie of all things.
I think that scene from the ending of Infinity War is called here.
No, I don't think I won't.
Which one?
You know, the whole like, was it worth it?
Oh, that.
Was it worth it, Sandra? Was it?
It really does ask. And unfortunately, it does make one wonder about Sandra as a person. Again, I don't want to assume anything in the negative. We sadly have a lot of people's reputations being ruined by people assuming the worst without actually knowing the facts. But again, given how heavily involved Bullock was in this, I mean, she accepted a role that even Julia... She accepted a vanity role. Even if she didn't intend for it to be, it really comes off as a vanity role that even Julia Roberts turned down. Just... The jokes write themselves, people. And again, like Tio said, maybe there's a legitimate reason. Like, maybe Julia Roberts didn't have time or just did not have interest, but... it is hilarious that Julia Roberts can say that she at least had the sense not to go too vain. It truly is incredible, honestly. And again, like a domino effect, the dominoes just keep piling up to a bigger and bigger result with how bad this movie looks now as of 2023 with the real life issues with the Towies who are portrayed as all heroic and whatnot. Now, if I'm to give him credit, unlike United Passions, which, people always knew FIFA were bad, to be fair, as far as we, the makers of the movie, and apparently potentially even Ower knew at the time, since I get the feeling if Ower knew about what the Towies had done to him at that time, he would have not been as silent about that. I'm gonna presume. For as far as we knew at the time, the Towies weren't that villainous. But again, the fact that this movie is tied to that court case really just makes it... Like, I don't think Awkward in Hindsight even covers just how, horrendous this all looks in hindsight. It's a bad movie, but it's a movie that will, it's a bad movie that ended up with the reputation it deserved. A vanity project, an Oscar bait project, and a project that did represent not only white savior complex, white guilt complex, but sadly, yes, a white family taking advantage of... Can we even call him their black son after all this? Jesus Christ. Again, this movie is one big yikes. It's yikes after yikes after yikes, and if you're watching this, only watch it as A, an ironic roasting session, or B, a lesson in what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I always do the former.
Dej.
Yeah?
Do you want to go next, or do you want to go last?
Yeah, you know what? I might as well go. This movie is a gigantic piece of garbage. The fact that they even considered making this Oscar baity, heartwarming, wholesome film when it's the definition of gaslighting and manipulation.
But
they should all be ashamed, and I mean this without any sense of irony. That family, the more specifically the mother and father, should be sued and owe royalties to Michael Orr.
Well, they did get sued in 2023.
Did they lose?
That I'm not sure about.
Well, I wish them all the failure in that.
Yes, same. But
Holy shit, is this movie condescending?
but Dej, he was changing her life.
Yeah, because she saw dollar signs.
Yeah, again, what's been revealed now pretty much does
And that
have
climax, it's like, I was like, oh, well, it's because is it a social worker or
the
whatever that lady
NCAA,
was?
the NCAA investigator.
Yeah, the investigator. She was basically pointing out everything wrong. And I was like, oh, but you see, while this family might be flawed, they still genuinely fuck off. Fuck off. You knew what you were doing. This was a sign that Michael Orr was being gaslit.
Yep.
Oh well.
And why doesn't Big Mike come off as a character in this? He just comes off as this. I'm slow, dim-witted, might be neurodivergent.
It's their attempt
They
to show
portray
that
they portray, besides that one agent, they portray almost every black character in this movie like they're broken or something.
don't you see, Dad? Just black folk need the white people to show us the way. Good lord. This is some Uncle Tom Jim Crow BS.
Also, like I said, the daughter was Phil Collins' kid, so that's funny to think about.
Oh, wow, that's quite a factoid.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny because they even have the joke about how he has the body of Tarzan but acts like Jane.
Yeah. It's like, wow, this Michael guy can't do anything without his family that's taking care of him. Shame on them.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm done. Fuck this movie.
Which leaves Pedro. Oh, in regards to the lawsuit, I'm not sure if he got money, but yes, he did get the conservatorship terminated on September 29th.
Alright.
Okay, so this movie is a fucking joke, a fucking stupid, offensive joke. Again, we've talked about everything about what's wrong with this movie regarding the real life connotations to it. I'm gonna focus more on the movie itself. It's a fucking joke. The plot is paper thin. The characters are paper thin. The movie is over 2 hours long, even though this at best is a 90-minute plot at best. And even the acting is not particularly great. The fact that Sandra Bullock got an Oscar for this of all of her roles is baffling, to say the least, because her performance, to me, is laughable. Every time I hear her say those stupid lines like, "You fret my son, you fret me," like, it's just laughable. Like, yeah, like, as for the rest of the acting, again, Quentin Aaron just looks. His performance in this movie basically amounts to making sad puppy dog eyes, and that's basically it. That's basically his performance. And the other actors, they're barely worth mentioning because all they do is play dumb stereotypes. So, yeah. It's again, the movie intends entirely just to talk about how awesome it is that you can, you know, greatness from small beginnings and all that shit and blah blah blah, and it's just like, no, fuck off. This is just stupid. And it's like I said, the only true way to enjoy this movie is to just turn on full irony mode and just get a bunch of friends, get some alcohol, and just roasts. Let's just have a roasting session, guys. That's basically the only thing this movie's good for. Yeah, basically. Aside from that, there's not really much I can talk about. I mean, the music is just like whatever. I'm not super bothered by the music like Dibs and Teo were, but at the same time, I don't care for it. And the direction sometimes can get questionable, at least. Of course, the writing is just because the absolute where Sandra Bullock's characters put on such a fucking pedestal. It's again laughable.
And you know what's funny? The NCAA investigator is painted as, I guess, kind of like the major villain, since she's the one who drives the wedge between Ower and his new family. Yet, turns out she kind of may have been the one in the right. I mean, okay, maybe not about the colleges, but about them trying to profit off of him. Oh yeah, again, it's kind of it adds to the hilarity, but also the horror of the situation. Like, it's hilarious when you consider how this movie really flubbed that, but Jesus Christ, the hindsight.
Basically. So yeah, the movie sucks, but like I said, at the very least, I can say that I can enjoy. I'm going to have to decide what I'm going to disagree with Teo. I'll take. I don't give a shit if there are robots in it, like or action in it. Like I'll take. At least I can make fun of this movie, whereas Terminator Salvation, I'm just feeling miserable.
Okay, to be fair, I'm gonna have to say something similar to like what I said to Dwibs regarding Speed 2. At least Terminator Salvation doesn't have the morally wrong stuff behind it.
Oh yeah, this is I guess by that extent that this is technically the worst movie.
But I can understand being more entertained by this, because Terminator Salvation can get boring.
Because Salvation is just, oh my god, I never want to see that. You might remember, everybody, how my first time watching Terminator Salvation was when we first did the movie over here a few years ago. And like I said in that commentary, I never want to watch that movie ever again because it's miserable.
So look forward to the Generations commentary, but I digress. I digress though. Like, I mean, me personally, I'll take Terminator Salvation over this. Like, I can laugh at this ironically, but still, I probably still would have a better time with Salvation.
I understand. Yeah, it sucks. The end.
Well, and you know what? My God, of all the movies we chose, if this was perfect for Generations, given all the many things that happened in between our commentary then and our commentary now.
That's why I picked it.
And what happened today?
Yes.
Rest in peace. Rest in piss, OJ.
Piss, peace, depends on your stance on the guy, but yeah.
All right. See you, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.